Eyes. I love how they've got a Make America Great Again hat that you can put on here, and the model for it looks really pissed about having to wear it. Oh my gosh, there's so many of these. Oh, this is gonna be a fun show.
Yep.
Hey, buddy.
Oh boy.
I'm not your buddy, guy. I'm the one in Canada now, bye.
Should I try to talk like that?
Can I finish?
Yeah.
Can I finish?
Yeah.
Can I finish?
I showed Chelsea the Jennifer Lopez episode the other day.
Jennifer Lopez.
Like tacos y burritos.
There's so many, like, there's forbidden donut. Homer, stop picking at it. Aww.
What is that you installed? Is this like just a plug-in or?
Yeah, it's called Snap Camera. So basically, you install it and then, anyway.
Is it sponsored? Is it Snapchat?
I probably is, yeah. All right, we're live.
That signal's going out.
Get ready, guys and gals. It's gonna be a big one. Where's my chat? Where's my chat? What did I do? Default view? There we go. Speak to the audience. What's up, Jason? What's up, G-Rant? What's up, Liam? Dave, just responded to your texts.
I know you guys already gave Durant shit for not showing up to the people party, but I just like to give him some more shit.
Oh, that's so good.
Yeah. I don't know if you heard that though. Might need to wait till we're actually up there to say that again. What? That's awesome. Is that like
Yeah, that was actually pretty good.
reminds me of like
Here.
the haunted house in Disney or something.
Yeah, now I'm Lord Farquaad.
That's
Oh, that doesn't even match my face. That's sad. All right, whatever.
I have to get the chat up because I can't see it.
It'll be
Yeah.
up. Just
Up on
a second.
Yeah, there we go. That's easier. Happy Halloween.
I'm tired.
All right. Everything's
It's
running.
tired in here.
This recording.
Got my notes. And
Hold on, I gotta turn off this one, but I don't know where it went, so I'm just gonna have to click on a random one. All right.
all right, we
Oop.
are turning off the music, and we are coming live with a 4-banger.
Ha! G-Rant sad face. That's funny.
Oh, did he hear
So
me?
are the yes, he did.
Oh, good.
So is the chat coming in to
I just
the
have to
restream
check
stuff,
and make
Dave?
sure- Yeah, ready and waiting for new messages. So all the messages from this point on should be coming in.
All our faces are so
Am I
pretty.
actually gonna see it? You guys are blocking it.
It's like the Brady Bunch up in here.
Brady Bunch. And then let's see.
Oh, wrong way.
I don't know which way to go. I don't know. Which
There we go.
Well, you can go both ways.
Yeah, you're
Make
right.
sure the screen is working for people's people.
That means two things.
That means two things. There we go. It's working. Yeah.
Green screen, Dave. Come on, Dave. Put your
fancy
background on.
backdrop in there. Yeah.
No, I don't have the
Come on, get in the
backdrop
studio.
on this. On this
Hey guys.
Okay, I can show you an example.
G-Ran?
Here, I'll show you. If I go to the 2x, you can see. This is the. Let's see. I'll take
G-Rant. Oh, G-Rant, you have no idea. It is going to be the best
the
episode.
studio. See?
Oh boy.
See,
Only
just
for
leave it
people
up.
watching.
Just leave it up.
Well, that's not set up for the 4 panels. I can't do that right now.
Oh, boo
That
earns.
costs extra.
Yeah,
That's
dude.
working, and then the regular 4x. Okay.
Let's see.
I'm rolling. Are you three of you rolling?
No, I will.
Okay.
Let me do that.
Yeah, I was
I am
rolling for
rolling.
like the past 5 minutes.
Okay. Do we want to do a clap?
Yes, we do.
Yes.
As soon as everyone's rolling, though.
Happy Halloween, everyone.
Happy Halloween.
Oh,
you
no.
blew the gag too early. You gotta do it like when you say
Maybe.
something.
Oh, I got so many more.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
This is my costume.
Wow. Ridiculous.
All right, fine. I'm Frankenstein.
The lightning.
The lightning is so good.
Yeah.
Yeah, the lightning is pretty good.
It's good stuff right there.
Like they isolate your head too. It's not just like a flash over everything.
Yeah, and they
Oh, yeah.
they square it off too. Like
They squared your
square
head.
it off
No,
my
that's
head.
just your head, dude.
That's
it?
just your head.
No, they
No.
totally squared off. Yeah,
You're right. They do
love
stretch
it.
All right,
Oh.
you guys ready to do a show or what?
Am I
Yes.
rolling? Yes, I'm rolling. All right, let's do the
Roll.
clap.
Oh, we didn't start already?
No.
No.
All right, we're gonna do the clap. It'll be 1, 2, 3, clap. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. Okay.
Cool.
That cascade of clapping sounds. I
I
love,
love
it.
it.
All right. Here we go.
All right.
All right.
All right, for serious now.
This is what our lives have become. Oh man, that's good. That's really good.
All right, here we go.
You know
What
it,
up, bros?
Grant.
Welcome to another Brograph Brocast. I'm Dave.
And I'm Matt.
I'm David.
And I'm Sage.
Yeah, I didn't have to introduce anyone. All right.
And Brograph is a supplement to our site, brograph.com, which is a motion graphics tutorial site with tutorials, plugins, podcasts, and other MoGraph stuff. And on this show, we talk about everything ranging from motion graphics to Cinema 4D, After Effects plugins, render engines, doing business, doing taxes, being a contractor, or working for the man. And you can email us, brograph@brograph.com. And we got a good show for you today because we got Octane, Jesus, and Sage in the house.
Yeah.
What's up,
And
guys?
for those of you who are listening to this the day after today when we're actually recording it, happy Halloween.
Yeah.
Yay!
Yay.
Oh, man.
All you listeners should come onto the live stream.
So,
I'm not
It's
gonna
so
be-
for all
ridiculous.
the
Hold it
thousands
together.
of people that just listen to the audio,
Yeah.
Matt is putting different faces on himself in Skype today
It's Halloween.
for Halloween.
It's Halloween.
He's Frankenstein and stuff now. So that's fun.
That's fun.
So that's fun. So, ooh, and I got my new fancy setup here. I got my microphone. I can turn it this way a little bit if I want. Oh, yeah. There we go.
Oh yeah.
Looking nice.
So, yeah, it's coming along. So, just a couple quick things for the week. First of all, a couple people have come back to me and talked about this dummy HDMI thing. And
Yeah.
it's apparently working for them pretty well. So,
Yeah,
Yeah,
I've
we
heard
have
some
them
good
as
stuff
well.
about that.
it's working for me. I haven't had any issues. Been able to log in remotely and all that other kind of stuff. So,
The only thing I was telling Billy this with dummy HDMIs, because we use them as well, if you actually hook up a monitor to it and you need to get into the BIOS, you need to unplug the dummy HDMI. Because the system will read the dummy HDMI as the primary monitor, and it'll try to throw the BIOS up onto that.
So did you guys talk about this last week? Because I don't know what no dummy HDMI is. I'm a dummy.
Well, if you don't have a screen, connected to anything like an actual screen, you can use the dummy to be a placeholder, so that whenever you do like screen sharing to it, you can actually see the OpenGL stuff. Because the OpenGL stuff will not show up. It'll just be blank on that. So you plug in the HDMI dummy, and then when you like TeamView or you use like Google screen sharing or whatever, you can actually see it. Because like what will happen is you'll open Cinema 4D on a remote machine, and it won't be showing anything in the viewport. It'll just be showing garbage. And so you have to have that in order for it to work.
Gotcha.
So But the BIOS. So what does the BIOS do? That's not like it gets screwed up or what?
No, it's just like because the computer thinks the dummy HDMI is the primary monitor. Even if you hook up a real monitor to the system and you try to load into the BIOS is going to go to the primary monitor of the system, which is not a real monitor.
If
You
you
have to unplug it.
if you have it plugged into a different like input, like is there one in particular that it's reading first and then it'll read another one? Like so, say like there's, you got multiple HDMI's back there. Do you plug it onto the secondary one or the second? I don't know. Will that make a difference?
I'm not sure. I think if you have the dummy HDMI plugged in, like on its own, and you use it that way, like you remote in and stuff, and then something happens, you need to get into the BIOS and you plug a real monitor into it. If you don't unplug the dummy HDMI in first, it's gonna think that it's the primary monitor that it was before you added another monitor to it. It gets kind of confusing, but basically, if you actually need to use a screen, at least with the BIOS, you should unplug it.
I see.
Okay.
All right, so let's talk about this Apple event a little bit. You guys can start.
Boo.
I should have peed before the show, so you start talking about the Apple event. And I'll be back.
I have not even watched it.
I haven't watched it.
Okay,
Oh, you
well I'll
Matt.
talk about it.
Talk about it.
They introduced new Retina. What is it? What are the minis?
XS.
No, what are the skinny ones? The Air, the
iPod?
MacBook Air.
Oh my god.
They
I
got
didn't
Retina ones of those. And then what else? Oh, the new the Mac Mini. They just announced a new one, which there hasn't been a new update in like 4 years or something. And then some guys on the Slack were checking it out, and it is like a good one is like $2,500 or something like that, or $4,000. It's a ridiculous amount of money for what you're getting for like a 6-core machine.
Wow.
So dumb. Like literally, you could build the whole thing yourself. And then they introduced new iPads, I guess. But who cares? It's like Apple didn't introduce anything new. Who cares?
I used to be a Mac.
The only reason we're talking about this is because Dave had to pee.
Yeah.
Well, I had it
To
on.
like obsessively watch these, their keynotes and all that, and it's been years since I've cared. That's sad.
I get it.
Same.
I start
Googly
watching
eyes.
it, and then I get like completely bored of it. That's the problem. So it's like, oh, okay, this is a new iPad, and it's got a bigger screen. I got that. Okay, but now let's talk about all the other things that are in the operating system already that we already know about, and then they go on with that for like 20 minutes. So it's like, well, I don't know. It's just so stale to me. Like every single one of their keynotes is stale.
Yeah,
And-
Rick
and-
Bogus said the max spec one is almost $4,200,
Jeez.
and the maxed out
Yeah.
iPad Pro is over 2,000.
No
Over
way.
2,000. So you could build an Octane computer with
Over
a
9,000.
1060 in it or something for just a little bit more. I built my computer with the 1060 for
Does not
$2,300.
Does not.
So
compute.
$2,300 for a full spec'd out PC with a 1060 in it, or do you want to just get an iPad? Like, to me, that doesn't make sense. Now, I understand it's more expensive because of what kind of computer it is. I mean, it's like it's like a laptop or something where you're going to pay more because everything is smaller, and everything is compact and everything is made to fit. But
I don't know. They were showing off Photoshop as well. It's like, I don't care. I'm not going to run Photoshop on an iPad. I'm not. And
oh yeah, they're like, you can put
guarantee-
another monitor on it. It's like,
Right, it's
really?
Why don't I just use why
Why-
can't I just use a regular computer?
Exactly. Yeah, it's dumb. So, Mac Mini again. No Mac Pro.
No, I think that's gonna come next year.
Matt's like, how can you not laugh at Matt? I know, it's so distracting, dude. I can't even.
It's so
I can't
distracting.
even concentrate on anything.
We're trying not to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You guys are true professionals.
For those listening, Matt has downloaded some Snapchat-esque thing for Skype, and I don't even know how many filters there are. There must be like 100.
Oh, there's so many. There's
And
so
he
many.
gets,
He
like,
goes through a
to-
new one like every 2 seconds.
Yeah, he's like,
Yeah.
and using catchphrases like, does not compute, and then his face turns into a giant computer.
Yeah.
Hey kids, I'm a computer.
Stop all the downloading. Zing.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Oh, it's so
how's
hot
my
now.
audio now on the stream, everybody? I'm assuming that it's okay, but it's gonna need some tweaking this week as I buy a new audio interface. So I apologize.
Jason said it was better.
Okay. So let's talk about what else I got here. Let's talk about how much Basecamp sucks.
Okay. All right. This was my topic of the week because I have just had okay. So first of all, let's talk about onboarding. All right. If you're going to freelance for a studio or something like that, or if you're going to bring in freelancers, you know, this is the number one thing. And you can't just throw someone into a project and expect them to completely understand the way you work and how things go, you know, and your nomenclature for how you label things and such. You know, if you're hiring a freelancer, they have their own way of doing something, you know, and kind of I understand some studios will expect you to do this, but remote people work differently, you know. Anyway, so this week I got thrown into Basecamp, you know. The client that I'm working with threw me into Basecamp, and I've never worked in Basecamp before.
It's
and
confusing,
if you've ever worked in Basecamp, you know it is the most confusing online project management software you can ever use. It is horrible.
Yeah.
So and then I don't know. I'm getting frustrated, increasingly frustrated with the client because it's you know, oh, well, you need to do it this way. No, you need to do it this way. No, you need to do it this way. And it's okay, why do I have to post the same file 5 different times, then just post it on Wistia for you guys to look at, and then post that Wistia link onto Basecamp for you to look at? It doesn't make any sense. Anyway.
Simple is better. That's why when we're doing Dropbox paper, for example, it's just easier.
All it is a
link.
document.
That's it. It's a document.
It's literally a
document.
document. Yeah. Throw in a link, let someone make comments and stuff.
Exactly.
You know?
I like Dropbox paper for sure.
So
I do not use Dropbox paper. We use Jira.
That's what.
What do you use?
What do you use?
Jira. It's
Is that
a Atlassian product. I think it's kind of like Basecamp, but you know, there's you get tickets, just like most of these
see, that's the thing.
things, and
it's too
you get an email
complicated.
for every ticket, and then you have a sprint. You have a 2-week sprint. These are all the tasks you have for 2 weeks.
It's overly
It is complicated, but for I think for bigger organizations, I work for a fairly big company, so they have the middle managers whose job it is to handle people's sprint planning and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Right. I understand. And so I don't know. I guess what really annoys me about this particular client is they brought someone on to be a producer, you know, and it's the producer doesn't necessarily know how they work either, you know. So they threw him in. They threw us in, you know, all the freelancers, and it's there's no organization. When really what should have happened, if you're going to pay a producer to do something, the producer needs to be pretty kick butt, in my opinion.
Right.
You know, they need to be able to know what they're doing at all times, you know, if you're going to hire a producer, because they're the one in charge of this entire project, you know, making sure that it happens. But what's annoying is that it's people are seeing us as just motion designers, when in fact we could do that and probably do it so much better than some of the producers that are actually, you know, running
because
the
we're
show.
used to it, and we
Exactly.
know exactly how stuff like this
We
works.
do this every day,
Right.
you know. Anyway, but what it goes back to, to my original point is, if you're going to bring people on to your company, you know, at least let them know, you know, how you like your files structured, how you like them named, where things are supposed to be posted. If there's a to-do list like there is in Basecamp, let them know that I've assigned you to-do lists, and this is, you know, this is where you go first. You know, look through schedules and stuff like that. Inform your freelancer, you know, how to do things, and don't just throw them into a project and expect them to do it. Like, you're not going to be a successful leader, you know, or a project leader if you can't do this stuff correctly, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know, man.
On the flip side,
yeah,
we're moving, at least the artists at work are moving off of Jira to Shotgun. I don't know if any of you have ever used that.
Yeah, I've heard of it. I mean, that's a big one for the VFX industry, you know?
Yeah.
the shotgun.
Yeah, it's more for like film, I think.
Yeah.
But a lot of the artists complained about using Jira because it sucks for basically anything that's not development, I think. Like, I think it's really good if you're developing something, you can like track bugs and stuff in it. But
It's expensive.
if you're doing art,
$50 a month per person
yeah, I know it's super
For
expensive.
Shotgun or for which one?
for Shotgun.
Yeah, it's more of a pro
Both-
tool.
Yeah,
I think it's kind of
both
like
of
it's
those are pro.
like Whipster or whatever on crack, you know, like Frame.io kind of thing, where you upload every shot and there's like, you know, tons of versioning and whatever, like tracking features and that kind of stuff. I don't know.
Whipster is
Yeah.
actually a Dallas company, aren't they?
Is it?
I thought so.
I have no idea.
Yeah.
My I want a really good project management software.
Yeah.
Like, I want to be able to very easily, and I want it simple. You know, Dropbox Paper is good.
It's pretty
but
close.
In my
but it's not the best.
opinion, it doesn't like, it's not beautifully designed. You know, it's literally
Oh, yeah.
just a paper document.
It's at least
and it
simple.
doesn't necessarily
Yeah.
look super professional. While it does the job, it doesn't, like, you know, if you say, oh, okay, we made a Dropbox Paper thing, you know, check it out and make notes and stuff like that. It's just one long whatever, you know.
Yeah.
It doesn't, we have to, I don't know. Like, I really want a really good project management software.
Yeah. The guys at ABC used Paper. That's how I
Yeah.
got introduced
That's
to
how
it.
That's
we
how we
got
got into
introduced
it
to it
too,
as
yeah.
well.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So, I mean, yeah, it's super easy, but whatever.
All right. So
Don't have to cry about it.
Yeah, I mean, it's funny all the
boy.
Oh my god. Okay, for those of you listening, Matt now has weirdly distorted eyes and
they're
horrible
crying.
tears coming out of his eyes.
Jeez.
Oh, man, that was so good.
All right. So let's move on to some Ravcock. What's your flavor?
What's your flavor?
All right, yeah. I was
There we
I thought
go.
you were going to do it with me.
Yeah. Okay. Wait. Take two.
What's your
Wait,
flavor?
Wait. Let's move on to some Ravcock. What's your flavor?
What's your flavor?
That's better. Thank you.
Oh man,
All right, so a couple of things I wanted to talk about in Octane today because I was diving into some things this week. Number one, I don't know if you saw in the Octane Facebook group my weird Octane issue that I was having.
What
No,
was
I
that?
didn't. What was that?
So I had a crazy licensing issue. So whatever
Oh,
happened,
gosh. Yeah.
we had
I think, Sage, I think you had this exact same problem.
I have.
the authenticate error or whatever.
Yeah,
So Matt was having trouble logging on one of his machines because it says all the licenses are being used. And so we went back to our render server, Meeseeks, and we released everything, right? So, and then his is working fine. So that night I go to render something and it's not allowing Octane to verify or come up, but it's not the regular error you get where it says retry. So instead it has like this weird thing that says like the number of your license and all of this stuff, and it doesn't work. And if you want to try and log out, you can't log out. So I was messing with this for hours, and even it said something about like standalone username and password is incorrect, but even standalone wouldn't come up. And I'm like, okay, so an hour and a half or so goes by, and I've looked in forums, I've looked everywhere. There's no talk of this error anywhere online. So I'm like, all right, so I guess I'm just going to start uninstalling, reinstalling, restarting the computer, and I started going back to old versions because what would happen is it would come up and it would have an error, but then online your license would say that it was in use again. And it's like, no, and then you would unlock it, you would release the license or whatever, and then whenever you would come back in and open it back up, it would error out, but then online again it would say that it's in use. So of course our five our 5 unlocks were used up. So I was at a point where I was stuck. There was nothing else I could do, and I needed to get this render going. So I went on to the Octane Facebook page and I posted something, but in the meantime I started doing these uninstalls, and I would reinstall different versions of Octane and they would all screw up in a different way. So I basically had to go all the way back, all the way back, all the way back until I hit I was version
3.6.
3.6 test build 3 that allowed me to actually sign out. And as soon as it let me sign out, then it worked. And so for me, I'm thinking like there's something hidden in another file where even when you uninstall everything, it still says you have some like offline. It said offline mode too for some reason, and I didn't have it in offline mode.
Well, that's also keep in mind 3.6 or 3.0 or 6.3 or whatever. Like you could actually still put that in offline mode. This was before they got rid of the, the offline stuff.
Right.
In 3.7, I think it was. So maybe there was some issue. So I guess everyone listening, if there's an issue with your Octane letting go a license, you may have to, install an older version of it and try and release it. Try back to 3.6 or one of the older versions that you were using.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
another thing along the Octane front, can I?
Yeah.
I posted this in the show notes. I don't know if you got this or not, but someone posted this in the Octane Slack channel. It's how to render faster in Octane. It's basically it breaks down like all the different like settings and stuff and what you can do in order to like really make your Octane render faster.
Right.
And it talks about the different settings, like, what they do and whether or not they'll adjust it, like such as, like your geometry versus your lights and stuff like that, or your individual kernels, whether you're using path tracing or you're using direct lighting, what to change in path tracing, what to change in direct lighting. It's a pretty like super in-depth, article. So I totally recommend it. It's
is that in Life Thrill or who is it?
No, it's brain-3.net. I don't know who that is.
I haven't
seen
that. Yeah,
it's pretty cool.
I'll put that in my mega resources page.
Yeah, add it.
David.
So
I was just saying that I really like that article because it's not a video. That kind of information is really good as a text that you can like search, and it's indexed now, so you can like Google it. But, like if he could have just as easily brought that out as a video, and then it would have been buried somewhere.
Yeah, I totally agree. It was super cool. Like it was a really good read. I went to the gym yesterday and I saw someone posted that, so I was reading it while I was walking on the treadmill. And it was a really good read.
Would you put the link in the chat, because I'm not finding it?
it was in the show notes.
Oh,
It's in let's see, where is it?
oh wait, I just need to look through the show notes. Never mind. I didn't realize you posted them all there. Cool.
No, I didn't. It's not in the show notes.
Oh,
Why
I didn't
not the show notes?
I didn't paste it at the I have it. I forgot to paste it in there. Sorry.
Way to go.
Cool.
Sorry.
Here, I'll post it in the notes so you guys can look at it.
And
anyway,
it won't go over your face this time.
Let's
the new
see.
Setup.
We're about to find out.
Yeah. It
Paste
shouldn't.
and
This is all Skype NDI now.
ooh,
It's good stuff.
there you
Yeah,
go.
there we go. Sweet.
Nice.
Fancy.
So
Excellente.
I was playing with the denoiser or whatever, right? And so the problem that I had, not really a problem, I guess, but the dilemma that comes up is like I had a really efficient scene, right? So I'm working on a project, or we're working on a project that's a highway project. It's for a tollway type thing. So there's no easy way to make 5 miles of highway and make it look ultra realistic. It's 5 miles of highway, so
Right.
where you've got to really optimize things. You've got to use a lot of clones, a lot of instances, and I came up with this super efficient way to do everything to where it builds off of a spline. So you change that spline, and everything in the scene changes. The trees, where the cars go, the lanes, the markings on the lanes, the borders, the everything, right? So it's super optimized to the point where I think without cars in it, it's like 1.3 million polys for 5 miles of highway.
That's without the cars?
Without the cars.
That's really good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so another thing that I was working on was trying to figure out, like, last time we did this project was years ago, even before I was using Octane, right? So that's like like the stuff I open these old files and I'm like, God, this is terrible. I got to start over, right? Like, I really have to like super optimize this now, because before it was just incredible how long it took to render. And so one thing that we did with the cars before is, in order to save on instancing a little bit, what you can do is you can, and this is in standard render, you can go in and, let's say you have a car and you have it set up where you've got the meat of the car, right? Like just the guts and stuff. You got the wheels separate because you want them to rotate. And then you've got the body of the car that's going to be the painted part of the car. Because when you do traffic, you're going to want to do different colors of like a standard Honda Accord, right? So you're going to put like 20 Honda Accords in the scene and you want it to be different colors. So what you do when you're using standard render is you go in and you create an instance of that body of the car. And then you don't put a color, a paint on it. You put the paint on all the individual instances. Well, that works great. And that works great if you do render instances. But the problem is, if you're in Octane and you do render instances, it won't pick up on those individual materials on each one, because it's a render instance. So it's doing no color on all the cars. So the solution is you would have to like not render instance those cars. So I'm looking and I'm trying to find a way around this. And I realize that there is the instance range node, which is fairly new. It's not super new, but the instance range node allows you to plug in colors. So you plug in a gradient, and in that gradient you put these stepped gradients of different colors, and it puts those colors on all those individual render instances. So I had like a highway going with hundreds of cars, but it was only like 1 million polys for the one car instance hundreds of times. So the only limit at that point is your V-Ray, or your V-Ray. And
Freudian slip.
So yeah. So I got the scene optimized, right? And it's rendering super, super fast. And I tried to turn on the denoiser just to see what it would do. And what's great is that even with 10 samples in the scene, the way I have it set up, or 10 or 20 samples, the denoiser looks so good that it's like good enough for the client. Because this isn't like ultra realism. This is a 5 mile stretch of highway. You know, this isn't a David Ariev space where like everything, all the textures are
spatial size.
Yeah, and so like there's just no way, and the render times would be crazy. But this looks great with the denoiser. Here's the problem though. I got it going to where with 10 or 20 samples, it looked fairly decent with the denoiser, and that 10 or 20 samples only took 1 second to render. And I was like, this is great.
Right.
Here's the problem. The denoiser takes 20 seconds to kick in. So then I started doing comparisons, because I'm looking back and forth, and I'm thinking, okay, if it takes 1 second, or maybe 2, and it takes 20 seconds for the denoiser, what happens when I just render for 22 seconds? Is it better than the denoiser? So there's this threshold where the denoiser doesn't make sense to use unless
have you tested with Neat Video? Because so far with my tests, like Neat Video still beats the denoiser.
Oh,
because
really?
the denoiser can be really, really chattery, like in terms of the details that it's making up. Yeah, I didn't use the denoiser at all on my Ice Caves music video, and I still haven't really. Because it smooths out too much detail. I feel.
It does.
I think if you've got a lot of samples, like, and it's like, say it's like 90% there, and then you add the denoiser.
Yeah,
it's
but
not
my question is, why not just add Neat Video? Because Neat Video is temporally denoising, and I don't think the AI denoiser is doing that yet.
Yeah,
so if you
know.
Also, Chad Ashley had a really good breakdown. He didn't actually use Octane's denoiser, but he was showing various like V-Ray and other denoisers and comparing them to like Neat Video and Magic Bullet. But who cares about Magic Bullet's denoiser? And just showing that it's not quite there yet. Like it's good for stills, but it doesn't have temporal denoising built in yet, as far as I know. Correct me if I'm wrong, but yeah.
I think that you might as well just go with a 22. I mean, like a 30-second render isn't that bad anyway. So when you do 30 seconds on this project, it looks fine. So plus it's got a lot of motion blur on it. I've got a lot of moving cars and the camera's moving fast and all that stuff. So then you just get this whole you get the streaks anyway, so that the grain kind of gets lost in that anyway. So,
Billy said Camera Raw has good denoising for non-temporal, aka like when you're doing stills, you can just use Camera Raw in Photoshop.
I think he's got some trick where you can actually turn it into Camera Raw, like the actual video and stuff. Am I right?
He can do it in After Effects, I think, right, Billy?
Yeah.
Cool.
He's in the chat. He's gonna let us know.
Oh, neat. Yeah, he said that. Yep.
Yeah, you can use Camera Raw in AE on sequences.
Where did he say that? I don't see that in the chat. Is the chat not coming up anymore?
Well, it's actually faster if you pull it up on a second window.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I see. All right.
You know what? No, none of the YouTube stuff is coming into the chat.
Oh, weird.
Yeah, it was, but now it's not.
I thought something was funky. Yeah, I'll just refresh it real quick. Okay, somebody on YouTube say something. We'll get it going. Okay, so.
It's lit right now.
Oh, here's another one. So, are you guys on version?
Billy says he's gonna make the damn tutorial already.
Yeah.
The YouTube chat is hardly updating into the stream chat. Well, yeah, it's there now. I read that. There we go.
There we go.
I don't know why it was doing that. Okay, so are you on version 4 RC7, all of you, yet? Or is it just us?
I'm still on 3.08. I haven't been playing with 4 yet.
Yeah, move over to 4, dude. It's super stable.
It's working great now.
I swap back and forth with it, or at least I did for the Ice Cave music video to try to load stuff faster, but I was experiencing so many crashes that I just...
Yeah, the early one was pretty crashy, but this one's actually really good.
Yeah, like,
I don't get any crashes now.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, the project that I'm on is not that intensive as far as like loading geometry or anything like that, so it doesn't matter that much.
Dude, you're making it so hard to concentrate on anything.
I'm trying to entertain the people on YouTube.
You are, but you've got to do it more in context. Like the one time when we were like, that's lit, and then the fireballs showed up.
Yeah. All right.
So I don't know about production ready. I would say, I mean, we're using it in production and it's been fine, but a lot of that depends on your motherboards and your cards and everything if they're stable with it.
3.07, they just released 3.07 like a week ago or something.
3.07.
And it's 4.07. 4.4
RC7. I'm telling you, keep track of all of it. Octane 5 before they release one without.
No. Okay, here I bet anything they're gonna release 4, and then a couple weeks later they'll release 5.
That's what Sage has been saying.
Matt, it's 4.0, 3.4, RC7-2. Come on.
Right.
Oh, sorry.
So have you? I don't know if this was in 6 because I skipped from RC5 to RC7, but in RC7 they have a new region deal because they've got.
They do.
Yeah, it's called Film Region. Have you seen this?
No, what is it?
So, okay, usually if you want to look at a region, you do the square over it, right? But you draw the square, but then it just keeps going samples forever.
Yeah, it's true.
Okay, Film Region, you take that and you put it over a specific area, and it only renders per however many samples you have set, which is actually nice because sometimes if you're trying to fix something and you don't want to wait for the whole scene to update, you just want to do that little area and see how it looks with that many samples.
Wait,
that's really
You're
cool.
telling me in a previous version when you did a render area,
it would just go forever.
It would?
It always goes forever.
But that can be helpful because then you're like, oh, how many samples do I need for it to actually
look
clean up?
good? Exactly.
Yeah.
And that's what I always used it for. It's like, oh, that little thing is super grainy, and I would drag a square over it and wait until the samples got to a certain point, and I say, okay, that's where I need to render. But now it's like, if you just want to see it, and it's cool because if you have a really fast scene, like it just comes up really quick. So that's something I noticed. And is there anything else I noticed in there? No, the only other thing that I thought was just a little tip, something interesting that came up for me is, do you ever build things that are going to be cloned a lot, and you have your clone, let's just say you have a circle, right? Like a circle spline, and you're cloning like 100 things around it in a scene. But then you have the individual instance that you're kind of building, and you got to go back and forth and go work on it, but it's not there because the cloner's turned on.
Right.
Right? So whenever I do that, what I've been doing now, so I don't have to keep going back and forth, is I just do a render instance as well of what I'm working on. So it kind of just appears in the middle of the scene. And so you can still click on the individual elements under a null that you're working on for all of those clones, but you can actually see it in your viewport, because even if you click on it, it will highlight it, but you can't actually see the geometry. So it's just a little tip. I was just working on a kind of a for fun thing on Sunday, and I just made this endless loopable like gazebo walkway that you're just going through, and it just continues over and over. And so that's why I was doing everything based on a circle.
Cool.
Yeah.
Word.
Anything else in RevCon?
Getting ready for that dead mouse making those loops.
Yeah, there you go. What about V-Ray?
Oh yeah, V-Ray. Okay, so I don't know. I don't think this will probably be like years in the making or whatever, or years from now when it actually comes out. But
Should be too late.
I was on Twitter. I follow Chaos Group. They just showed off the new version of V-Ray from Maya. It's V-Ray Next, I believe it is, and like it significantly improves their GPU functionality, and it looks pretty smoking fast. Like and I don't know. Me personally, like Maya was my first love. When it came to render engines.
Ew.
And so I have a small part of me
Gross,
that one
dude,
day
don't talk
hopes
about
to
that.
maybe get back there.
It's like you
And
saying
you-
I squanched my family.
Don't say that.
Anyway, but yeah. So check this out. It's in the show notes. Or just type do a Google search for V-Ray Next Maya, and you'll see the Chaos Group's video on it. It's pretty cool. They do this little breakdown of a scene, and it loads pretty quickly. So
Yeah, I'm looking forward to
Totally
Arnold
fire.
GPU. Arnold GPU.
I kind of wonder how much V-Ray for C4D in terms of income and by extension development funding lost when Octane, Redshift, Arnold, when all these things came out. Because for a really long time, V-Ray was like the only game in town.
yeah, totally.
And now, like, no one cares about them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So, and the development cycle was always a problem for V-Ray. So it's like, is it going to be worse now that they have to compete
Yeah,
and they're not making as much money?
I've always said if Chaos Group took over V-Ray, development for C4D,
Yeah.
like it would be so much more popular than it is, and I know a few people who still use V-Ray for some things. I believe
Lots of
the
architectural. And,
yeah, I believe the
Yeah.
Sydney Opera House stuff that Rich Nosworthy and Tim Clapham did was V-Ray,
Mhm.
Yeah,
And,
it's still a good render engine for sure.
Yeah, it's a very good render engine. Like the thing that I like about it, specifically in comparison with like Redshift or Arnold, is it's not node based. It's got the drop down stuff like Octane does, and I really like. I'm not scared of nodes. I just think they're time consuming. I think they take more time than working just specifically in one little shader thing the whole time. Anyway. But that's my own personal opinion. You guys can
Just an aside, did you see C4D's new node system? I feel like it's like the cleanest, nicest
Yeah.
interface
It
for
looks
nodes
so
I've
great.
ever seen. And I wish that Octane could just adopt that. I mean,
Yeah.
I was
Did you-
talking to Max on Rick or something, but he was saying that I think that it'll become available, like the API. I don't know what acronym because I'm not.
Yeah,
I don't know
what
anything
you're
about
saying.
code.
Yeah.
But
But,
like
like-
with Redshift, it uses the same nodes as
Yeah,
Cinema,
they're
right?
using
Yeah.
they're using
Espresso.
Espresso, but this is like way better. Like I don't want to
Yeah.
use Espresso. I don't like the way that's laid out. But C4D's new node system makes a lot of sense and looks really pretty.
I want
You
Espresso
should
to
see
look
that
like that.
plugin.
Yeah.
plugin someone posted for Blender.
That was
Magic
me.
Nodes or
I
whatever.
posted that.
That was
Yeah.
you? That was
Yeah.
crazy.
That was awesome. Yeah, like it was a plugin for Blender. You know, using their node stuff, you could basically like click on a button and it would organize all the nodes automatically.
Wow.
And then like you can move one of them. Like as you move it around, like it'll stretch and squash all the other ones together to like perfectly line it up.
It has like spline dynamics. Like if you link the whole thing together, it's actually
that's crazy.
welded together with spline dynamics. So when you move each one, it like bounces and stuff. Is really crazy.
It's like when you use that old program Reason, remember? And you hit tab and it would flip over to the back of all the racks and you could see all the wiring, all the patching. And it was all like spline dynamics. It was sweet.
Yeah, I saw that and I went into the Baron's request line, you know, in our Slack and I said, please do this. I want this.
Oh yeah. Did you get a response?
No. No. I mean, that's something I've been telling Barons for the past couple of years. You know, I want some nicer looking espresso. You know, and I've showed him a couple examples. You know, and I have a feeling, you know, they're working on it. I mean, I don't speak from anything that I know personally because I tell them I don't want to know anything that's coming up. You know, because I like to speculate.
Right.
But I am speculating that that's probably coming. Yeah.
Anything else? Anything else in the Ravcock?
Well, we could talk about the new series that were released by Grayscale Gorilla and Hello Lux, basically almost exactly the same time. You know, so both Hello Lux and Grayscale Gorilla released their new Redshift.
Looks really good. I mean, Trevor Kerr is the man.
Yeah.
You know,
he's incredible.
Yeah, and so
is the Hello Lux one Rich Nosworthy?
It is.
Yeah,
it's Rich.
So
Nosworthy,
both of those guys are freaking incredible. So
yeah. So you're getting high quality training from both people. You can buy both the bundle, the volume 1 and volume 2 from Hello Lux's website. I think right now it's $139.
And we bought it this week, didn't we?
We did, yeah, yeah. I've gone through the volume 1. Like, it's a good start to get you set up into Redshift. It doesn't go into, at least volume 1 does. I haven't gone through volume 2. It doesn't go through all the nodes or anything like that. And I've heard that the Grayscale Gorilla one does actually go through, like Trevor actually goes through every single node and tells you what it does. You know,
I'd be interested in watching both of those, not just for the Redshift info, which you know, that's cool, but like just the project breakdowns and all that stuff. Like I'm sure there's just a lot of really good info in general, you know, about rendering and all that.
I'm about to be like, why does David want to watch Redshift anything?
Right.
Well, actually, interestingly, I used Redshift for the first time. Gasp. At Video Copilot, and I did not hate it.
No, it's nice.
Yeah,
that's a
it's
step
good.
in the right
I've been
direction.
using it as well, so
yeah,
I'm just poking fun at you.
I liked their passes system better. Like I liked that you could take like a puzzle map, for instance, and like duplicate it and have like one of them going to a target sequence and one of them going to a TIFF sequence or an EXR. So like it definitely seems more attuned to passes.
Yeah. The AOV stuff, is that what you're talking about? Actually, Rich, one of the lessons from Volume 2 that you can actually watch for free online is actually going over all the AOV passes and stuff. It's actually very informative. Is that what you were just talking about?
Yeah.
No, sorry.
Well, Liam says his jaw may have just broken because of what I said.
What, with the Redshift stuff? Yeah.
Blasphemy.
Oh, okay.
First I cut my hair, then I said I kind of like Redshift.
There you go. Times are changing.
Times are changing.
So yeah, the Grayscale Gorilla one, it's $300, I believe, on grayscalegorilla.com. And so I don't know, like Chad was saying, I was watching a video that he posted, I think it was today, or that someone posted in the Slack of him and Trevor talking, you know, about what they did. And Chad actually says he goes through an entire like production line of producing a like a video. I think it was that intro video, you know? And so he shows his whole process of what he would do from beginning to end.
See, that's what I was curious about, because there are people online who are like, okay, well, this thing is $300.
Right.
So I'm not sure what I'm getting. I already know Redshift, and I don't know if it's going to be of value to me because I already know Redshift, and that's the question. And almost it seems like there needs to be a little primer or some clips so that you can look and say, okay, that's something that I don't know. If this is what the video is like, then I'm totally in. Because what if you spend the $300 and you're like, okay, well, this is all stuff I already knew. How do you know?
Yeah.
And I think that applies to everything. All video
There's
courses.
A few tidbits. Like I had already known a good majority of what Rich taught in the first Redshift one. It is good knowing that I am doing it correctly. You know, having like a industry professional telling me I'm doing it correctly, basically.
Oh, Liam says there's a return policy.
Oh, there is?
Oh,
okay.
That's good.
Well, Stephen Shook on the chat saying Volume 2 goes through the majority of nodes very completely. So that's good to know. That's good to know. So anyway, honestly, they're both good teachers, you know? You're going to get a great value out of both of them, you know?
Yeah.
Don't quote me on that, though.
But there's a pretty considerable price difference, so...
Yes.
Yeah. I don't know. Okay.
What else?
Let's go. Okay, you already talked about onboarding employees. I wanted to talk about hardware a little bit.
That's all Sage.
Stock hardware.
Yeah, stock hardware.
Okay. Lies, you have like 4 times as many computers as me.
That doesn't mean I know anything about them.
Yeah,
I just
you
know
built
how
them
to
all.
assemble. Well, I know how to assemble them, but Sage actually super helped me figure out the builds. Like he informed me about the Asus ROG Edition 10, whatever it's called. See, I don't even remember the name of the motherboard. The Rampage Edition 10, which is like definitely my favorite motherboard that I've used, and it fixed all of my problems. So yeah.
Well, that's good.
Yeah.
Well, the 2080 1080 Ti dilemma is the problem that I'm still. I don't know.
Did you guys happen to see this article talking about how a lot of the 2080 Ti's are like failing?
No.
Really?
Yeah. Like there's a really high
there's a lot of
like fail rate on some of these newer 2080 Ti's coming out.
And it does seem to be specific to the 2080 Ti, but it is kind of concerning that like they're dying supposedly at those numbers. And I know Billy was seeing in some places as well that they're overheating a lot. So it's just like, it seems to be just very like up in the air right now as to what the hell is going on.
Billy says 2080 Ti's have been dying on the assembly line, and the ones that come out seem to be pretty shaky as well. That makes me want to go to just buy some 1080 Ti's for now until this all... just have a pint until this blows over.
I mean, it's probably not a bad idea. The thing is, like, if you guys remember, because I keep reminding people of this, so I sound like a broken record in the Slack, it took them like 6 months before the 10 series, the Pascal chips, were fully supported in Windows and like working properly, and all the bugs were like ironed out. Like it took a solid 6 months before that happened, and that was just a regular like generation to generation upgrade. Like all they did was shrink the die of the chips. So this one has like all of these new tensor cores and all this additional stuff that on top of a die shrink they've added. So yeah, it's gonna be a while. Like I think it's gonna be at least 6 months.
Yeah.
Are they gonna? You think they're gonna?
Whole shit gets like fixed.
You think they're gonna do a 2180 Ti within the next year or so, or are they gonna try and hash out all these issues first?
No, they'll hash out the issues. It's because it's to do a 2180, like when they make those number jumps, it's actually they've done something to the underlying architecture to change it. They're not like AMD. AMD, you can't trust those numbers because they will take an old series card and like make it a higher number with they like, for example, I think they rebranded like the 780 equivalent or whatever to like the 960 equivalent. You know what I mean? Like,
Weird.
they'll take an older, like a better older card and make it a current generation with a lower down the product line.
Mhm.
Whereas Nvidia doesn't do that. Like when you see a 10 series or 11 series or whatever, like 9 series, it's actually a different chip on the board.
Yeah.
So what they will probably do, to be honest, well, for sure they're gonna make a 20 series Titan because that's still coming.
Right.
Yeah.
Should we wait
Curious
for
what
that?
the price on that.
Yeah, like
Dude,
Steven said,
it's
he just got an
obviously-
email from NVIDIA that the Quadro RTX 6000 is now
6,000,
available for just $6,300
Only.
only. And so
And the other thing is those like Quadro RTX chips.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Like you guys heard that Nvidia doesn't let you put consumer cards on render farms anymore.
Yeah,
So I'm
but
kind of curious as to what places like PixelFlow are gonna do. Like if they're just gonna keep, because I'm pretty sure PixelFlow uses 1060s.
No, how is
Yeah.
that? Why is that? Like, how do they even know?
yeah.
I have no idea. I have no idea how they know.
Hmm.
But it's apparently
yeah.
the EULA that you're not allowed to use consumer grade cards on render farms anymore.
And so I'm getting like these links in like Slack and stuff to like these kind of conspiratorial type things
And
going
Dave's
on
like,
now with
ooh,
these-
conspiracy
Ooh,
theories.
I love,
I'm in.
I love conspiracy theories. I love entertaining conspiracy theories. I don't necessarily
Yeah.
believe them, but
Yeah,
the,
sure, sure.
the 9/11 was an inside job. No, I'm just kidding.
Mm,
Just so, okay. One of them in particular I saw though was that like the 2080s, the speed on them isn't that different. 2080 Ti isn't that different from a 1080 Ti at the moment. And
No, it's a 2080 and a 1080 Ti.
what's that?
It's a 1080 Ti and a 2080 are pretty much the same right now.
yes,
A 2080 Ti is faster.
but come 6 months from now,
Right.
you know, when they've
Yeah, come
got
6
all the
months from now,
RTX
2080 will
RTX
likely be
stuff
faster.
figured out, then it's gonna smoke it. I think.
Yeah, it's
I
gonna be
hope
faster.
so. But then the
Yeah.
question
It should,
remains.
like, based on history, because I remember when the 9 series came out and all of us had 780 Ti's. I think David, you had 780 Ti's as well. Yeah, when the 9 series came out, it took them like 6 months before they started beating the 7 series, and then it was the same when the 10 series came out. The 1080 was about the same as a 980 Ti or slightly worse, and then 6 months later it was faster. Not significantly faster, but it was faster. Like, I think a 980 Ti is Octane benches around like maybe 100 or 110 or something like that, and a 1080 is like 135.
Yeah.
So it's not like a huge gap, but it is faster now. But it wasn't originally, and yeah, it's the same story with the 2080 and the 1080 Ti. The 1080 Ti is like 185, and a 2080 is like 183 or something like that right now.
The
So they're, like, pretty much
conspiracy
the same.
is like the 1080. They're doing it because they want people to buy all the 1080 Ti's that they still have left in stock.
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah, but like, what's the price on a 1080 Ti straight from Nvidia's website?
It's probably what, $600 right now. So if you could get 2 of those for the same price as a 2080,
I don't think it's $600.
I think it.
Dude, here's one on eBay for $215. Dang.
Yeah, it's been used.
Might
for
be
like
broken.
1,000
Yeah.
hours.
Heavily used.
Yeah, it's been cryptoed.
Yeah, it's been through there.
$639 for an
So-
EVGA.
639. Okay.
Yeah.
So that's about half the price of the 2080 Ti. So the conspiracy is that like they're not gonna up the speed on these things in any way until they get rid of some of the old stock.
I think that's a ridiculous.
Yeah,
I think that's a ridiculous conspiracy.
I mean,
That's
Apple
a-
admitted to slowing down iPhones on purpose.
Yeah, because they're trying to get people to buy because they're a bad company
Well,
because they only care about selling phones.
you never know what these companies will do. Just
See,
saying.
and look, it says
It's true.
GTX 1080 Ti out of stock. Like you can't even buy them on their website.
That's E EVGA.
Somehow Billy
No,
got
that's
all
GeForce.
his 8 1080 Ti's for 480 each, or average. That's
Wow.
insane. I
That
bought
is
them each
insane.
for like $700 or $800.
Yeah.
Billy is a master of finding
Ah.
those deals.
What a jerk.
Like his machine, or I think all of his computers cost half of.
Oh, see what we need? All right, Billy. Here's your challenge. You ready? We're gonna start a new channel. I know, another new
Oh,
channel
jeez.
called Billy's Deals. And he's gonna find deals for us.
He's like, ain't nobody got time for that.
Yeah, but he also has to make the Billy Mays style ads.
Yeah,
for
yeah,
Right.
exactly.
Of-
Yeah.
That's funny.
Billy Chicken here.
Billy
for,
Chicken here
for 1080
with another
Ti's.
1080 Ti.
Uh,
Oh man. So yeah, for me the big reason I'm not that interested in the 2080 Ti right now is the whole NVLink thing and the fact that you have to have at least a gap of 1 or 2 PCIe slots between them, right?
Right.
Do you have
Which
to?
means
well,
yeah.
If you don't want to
Well,
get all
it's not-
crazy
the-
hot.
the-
Oh,
Just
the
the-
NVLink. Yeah.
NVLink. So
Okay.
and like otherwise it's still just 11 gig, VRAM cap, which is I mean-
Oh. Uh-oh. I got logged out of the call. Hold on.
Although if you switch to
Oh,
4,
boy.
they-
we lose
Lost you
Jake.
guys. I lost you guys for a
I
second.
was about to say.
Skype
Oh, no.
just exited the call for no reason.
wow.
But
We're
Um,
all
hold
frozen.
on. Yeah, you're all frozen. I gotta get you back. Hold on a second. I don't know why Skype just freaked out. Whoops. Let's see if this fixes it here.
Probably something technical.
It probably is something technical.
Makes my eyes.
Oh my
Oh,
god.
man, that's pretty
that
good.
one's amazing. Actually.
Yeah, that one's
Holy
actually really
crap.
good.
No,
That's
you're
real
gone.
good. I like the non-realistic looking ones. That's cool.
I don't know. I don't know. I got no idea what's going on right now.
I have no idea what's going on.
Okay, hold on a second. I'm gonna have to hang up again.
Oh yeah, puts.
Oh my god.
All right, here we go. I
Hey.
just gotta get Matt
Hey.
back here.
Hey, hey, hey guys, hey guys.
Wait, now I see 2 of me.
Yeah, hold on.
Yeah, it's
Gotcha.
too-
There's 2 stages. Hey guys,
There we go.
I'm the human Dorito.
Hold on, let me
Yes, you
set a
Oh,
marker
boy.
here. Yeah, it's probably it's
Matt.
probably your
There we go,
it's
there's the
probably
Dorito.
your camera thing doing it, Matt.
I'm sure it's not my camera thing.
let's just say that's what it is.
So what the hell was I saying? That NVLink, you have to have like a space between your graphics cards, and I want them 22 gigs of RAM. Like it feels lame to upgrade from an 11 gig card to another 11 gig card. You want like more VRAM, and so yeah, I don't see how you can stack 4 per tower, and that as well as the fact.
Well,
that
that's
they
if you
have
use
two-
an NVLink. I mean, you're not even on 4 yet. 4
Exactly.
4
I know
has
there's
the out of
out-of-core,
core. You know.
NVLink is faster than out of core. It's like I think Jules said that, and
Well, that makes sense.
yeah,
It's true, it is faster, but all the engines are moving to out of core. So
right,
Mhm.
right, fair enough. So I guess it's not that big of a
It's-
deal, but then
It's
also
like a 6 of one, half a dozen of the other. Like, do you prefer having more cards or NVLink?
That's,
Right.
Because
that's
it
the other
doesn't seem like you
thing.
could have both.
I don't want to wait around for the blower versions to come out either. If it's going to be a while, is there any?
that's
word on,
another
like-
thing. It's like that I can't.
Well, how
buy
hard
them
up are
until
you
lower
for?
versions are out.
Yeah.
How hard up are you for rendering power right now?
I'm not. I'm fine.
No, I'm talking to Dave.
I just want something
Like, we
decent
got-
on this system. That's the thing.
Yeah, we got Meeseeks. What you should do is buy yourself one 1080 Ti.
But see, that's what
to
I'm
go
saying.
up with that.
Or do I get one 2080 Ti?
Nah, just find one on eBay for $500. That's the price of your desk that you didn't pay for.
Oh no, it went through today.
Oh, that's such a shame.
Yeah. So, but it is pretty sweet. It does move up and down.
Yeah.
It's a standing desk. Look.
Crazy.
Whoa! Come back. I'm going up and down.
Yeah, as everything then shuts down because you pull a wire.
Pull a cable out. Yeah. No, all the cables are just hanging right now. I still have to work on that a little bit. I got a lot of cable management to do. So.
I like this one.
So what about system? Sage, you've basically built everybody's system in the Slack at this point.
I don't know about that. I've probably helped a lot of you though.
We should mention your guide. What was the address to your system building guide?
Thesagery.com/builds.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's it.
Okay.
There were people asking about information on the Slack the other day. I said, go here.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, okay.
Yeah, so I talked to Matt about this for a while ago, and Grant as well, about making builds for 3D artists specifically, because when you look for information on what should I get, 9 times out of 10 it's gaming based.
Yeah.
And that's not the same kind of load. So I said, okay, I'll put this. It's not it's well thought out, but it's not very well put together right now. I plan on making it maybe a little pretty or something. Right now it's just the lists. But yeah, I put together that page just to help people at different stages, get a gauge on what they should be using. You don't necessarily need to use the specific parts that are in that list, but you definitely can go and just see what you should have kind of when you're first starting out, or when you're maybe a step above that, just to kind of gauge what parts you should be looking at. Yeah, and it seems to be popular, I think.
See, you need to start Sage's builds, and you need to do a because some people I know some people like to build them themselves.
Right.
I think the 4 of us enjoy building the computers ourselves. But if you could just say, hey, buy this one, and then put a 30% upcharge on it, for building it.
The only part, I would totally do that. First of all, the person that I live with probably would not like to have all that shit everywhere. So I'll throw that out there. And then the warranties. If you build someone's PC for them specifically, you have to give them warranty, and I don't want to have to deal with it. That's why it's easier for me to just be these are the parts, figure it out yourself.
Do you have to give them a warranty though, or could you just give them the warranties for the individual pieces? And then
you could give them warranties for the individual pieces, but
yeah.
When you build it for someone, think of if you help your mom with a problem.
Yeah.
She's gonna come back to you forever to fix whatever it is. So the people who can't build it themselves are the kinds of people who would expect support if something goes wrong.
Right.
That's what that's in my mind anyway. Maybe I'm wrong, I don't know, but
yeah,
I don't mind
get inundated with
guys, but if it's random people, then it starts to get a bit worrisome.
Yeah, they would take up all of your time.
Yeah,
for sure. Yeah.
What else?
But
you got a crazy buzz.
Yeah.
What I
do?
That
audio. Yeah, you got that crazy buzz.
All of a sudden?
Nah, I think it's worse now. I wonder if it has anything to do with your desk.
No, I know exactly what it is. It's a.
Oh, okay.
It's the what I record on goes through a separate interface in order to go to the stream. And that is a new thing with this new setup so that everything works well. The problem is, and I've always had this between these two, the little mini interface does not plug into the wall. Therefore, it has no ground. It just plugs in USB-C, and I got a little bit of the buzz out of it by taking the ground off of the other interface. With one of those, just
Pliers?
IEC plugs. You just rip the ground off. But I'll have it fixed next week. I'm going to find a new interface after the show, so it'll be fine. Oh, by the way, I would like to say that Thursday for Redshift Live, I'm going to be on the stream with Liam. And we are going to be discussing Redshift, and he's going to be showing me some stuff. I started messing with Redshift when I got the license, like, I don't know, when was that? A year ago, I guess. And so now he's going to kind of help me get through some stuff and kind of learn it. So I'm going to reactivate my license and do that for Thursday, I guess. So oh yes, Benjamin,
Remember?
Yes.
Yes.
I thought I had this in the notes. I guess. Okay.
We should talk about this.
Oh boy.
Yeah, we should talk about this.
Sage, you know what we're talking about?
Yeah, I see it.
David, do you know what we're talking about?
Not really. So it's stealing like an artist, or what? Is it the book?
No.
So this is a good topic.
The stealing artist. Okay.
Yeah, Benjamin Allison in the chat.
You guys talk about people stealing on this podcast so often.
It's because they're
this is
terrible people.
This is pretty bad, dude. Like, this is pretty extreme.
G-Ran says, "Here we go.
Here we go.
Podcast."
Bitch fest.
Yeah.
Okay, so Benjamin was in the Rants channel one day this past week, and he was talking about Sage is just kicking back.
Mm-hmm.
He was talking about
it's gonna
how
be good, guys.
Yeah.
he's like what is up with freelancers? We hired this guy and he's not here yet, and it's like 12:30, and so like the more he starts digging in, he's like, oh man, guys, I think this guy's like, you know, an internet thief or something like that, you know. And so we all start getting on this Rants channel. It was like all day long we were talking about this. It was a long one. So this guy, he's like, I think this guy's a con artist. So what happened was this guy came in, he interviewed to basically be a freelancer or something. He got hired and never showed up. And so we start looking at his website, and like his stuff was really good. Like top notch. You're talking ZBrush, you're talking full on production stuff, you're talking, you know, isometric Brograph stuff, like all of the above. It's like, and this guy was 28 years old, you know. I'm sorry, but this guy was no David Ariev.
28 is definitely, I mean, like Aaron Kovret is like 21 or maybe 23.
Right.
Like people can get crazy good so fast though.
True,
Right.
but he has
But
one
he-
particular style, kind of.
Yes.
Yeah.
So Aaron is a fantastic artist. He was really, really good. But like, if you were to look at his reel or like his website or something, you can tell there is one particular style, right? Very similar
or
with
maybe
all of
different
us.
styles, but you can tell
Yeah.
that like he specializes in something.
Right.
This was
You know?
like how is he so good at all these different
This
things?
Everything.
guy is 28 years old, and like he had done so much stuff, right?
Yeah,
Right.
there was a
And
lot.
so-
It was like some really, really good 2D stuff as well. Like it
Oh wow.
was,
Yeah.
it was crazy.
And commercial work, like
Yeah.
full on 3D commercial work and stuff, and get with character animations and like these beautiful sculpted like cartoons and stuff. And you're like, oh man, this guy's legit. He's so good. But then it just goes to show, right, that you need to at least vet all of the people, you know, who go through your system. If you're hiring a freelancer, just do yourself a favor and take a single picture, you know, and post it.
Do Google reverse image search?
Yeah.
Google, because we were able to find out that this guy ripped off all of the work on
Everything.
his site.
Every single
Wow.
Single
picture.
thing. And Sage
crap.
even went through and made a list, a master
Yeah.
list of every single person he ripped off.
Wow.
Yeah, I got through like 3/4 of his like design, quote unquote design work, and I sent it to Matt. It's like so many people.
It's
insane. Like
It's
every
insane.
single piece was not his work.
He ripped it
How
all
do you
off the internet.
go about reverse engineering like those things? Like, because you're looking at images, how do you figure out who they belong to?
What's really funny is that he
It's-
also disabled right click on his websites. so you couldn't just copy the image.
Wow.
Oh,
like,
have to, like,
you're stealing it. Why are you worrying about someone else
I
stealing
think he
it?
doesn't want
Yeah.
people to download
He doesn't
it
want
and
people
reverse
tracking
search
it.
Yeah.
Down. Yeah.
So like
Is there?
Screencast.
I guess there's like a Google
that's what
like
I did.
reverse image search. Is that what you guys are
yeah,
talking
Yeah.
about?
that's what
Yeah,
I
yeah,
did.
Google
I just
Images you can
screen
search.
captured each one, and then put it through Google reverse image search, and it'll tell you fairly easily like who's the original artist. And 9 times out of 10, he'd have like 3 or 4 pieces from the same person.
Yeah. So, if is the website still up? Benjamin,
sure
am
it
I
is.
allowed to talk about it? Am I allowed to say who it is?
Say who it is.
Whatever. It's Mad Monster.
Okay.
What?
All right, too late.
All right. MadMonsterCreations.com. Go check this out.
Oh my God.
Yes. Okay. Yeah. He said yes. Good. Mad Monster Creations is this guy named Arnold Martinez. Dude, the guy, like, if you get this from someone, do not hire this guy. He is a con man.
Wow.
He's a con man. He doesn't do any work.
This
He's
isn't
terrible.
like you just copied a little bit of what something did on a project, or you know, made a similar piece or a very, very, very similar piece. This is straight up just like ripping things off the internet. And I've
Yeah.
gotten this feeling from people too. Like there is a guy who constantly emails us who wants to do projection mapping stuff eventually, but we've never had him as a client yet. But he keeps sending me all these other things that quote unquote he's done or they have done together with these other people, and he's very vague about it. And all of his videos that he has on his site and everything linked to like his own private YouTube with private videos that I swear he's ripping from other places. You know?
Yeah, and all the videos are titled Animation 1.
Animated
Yeah.
commercial 2.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow, this is crazy.
But you think
how
about
does this
you think
help
about
him
it,
at all?
right? Like,
How does this work? Like
Right.
how like does he get any money from this whatsoever?
I don't
Like-
know.
That's what I'm saying.
Like-
How do you show up and then do the work?
Right. I think so. We had a guy like this at a job that I worked at. It was a crappy post-production house. We hired a guy, and during the interview, we're like, "How are your After Effects skills on a 1 to 10?" You know, and he's like, "Oh, 10 all the way." Okay, all right, fine. What
That
about
must
Final
be
Cut Pro?
so
This was
bad.
back when Final Cut Pro was, you know, anyone who says they're a 10 at anything, don't believe them.
Right.
I wouldn't even say I'm
Yeah.
a 10 at After
No.
Effects, and I've been doing it for like
I mean,
12 years.
looking at this site, like at first it's like, oh, it's professional. It's doing the weird like zoom in thing a little bit when you hover over things, and but then you're like, you know, he's like this world class DP, yeah, right. And then you
Right.
know he's like this amazing photographer, and then you go to design, and it's also the language is wrong. Like when you go to like there's no motion design, and he's got like full motion design pieces on here, like mixed
Yeah.
in with the quote unquote film.
Right.
It's like there's a total ignorance about, you know, the craft whatsoever.
Do you
Also, his
think-
homepage doesn't seem to be loading anything at all. So
Did we crash
Yeah.
it? Is everybody looking at it? Is that the problem?
we might have crashed it.
What is
Yeah,
it
we
again?
Right, all 32
The Reddit
people
photo
who are
death.
going there,
Yeah.
right there.
well, like when you click on home, nothing happens. But design and film, all the others have stuff. But home, you know,
What's the address again?
madmonstercreations.com.
And like the thing about him is that because he didn't change any of them in any shape or form, it's super easy for you to do that reverse image search and immediately find
Yep.
the
Man, I
original.
recognize
Like
some
if he
of these.
changed even the colors, it would be a lot harder for us
Yeah.
to do that, or for me to go through every one
The
and
only
find them.
the only thing
But he
I
ripped
think
them off straight.
Straight, yeah.
the only positive thing I think I can say about this guy is he's good at curating good-looking work.
Right?
Yeah, but it's not that hard. Like, honestly,
guess.
you could just go to Behance. A lot of the stuff. Oh, there we
Yeah.
go. Yeah, bringing it up.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, like
It's-
this.
it's-
I recognize like this work here.
Uh-huh.
With these, I've seen this before. I don't
Yeah.
remember which artist it is, but yeah.
It's so it like I don't know. People who do this. And now I'm curious, Benjamin, you're on the chat right now. Did you check to make sure that everything was not stolen from your office? Because someone was saying, "Oh yeah, we had someone like this who came in, and then we noticed that some of our equipment was gone."
Wow.
Yeah. So
Man, that's a lot of
so
work
go
to
back.
pull off something like that.
Yeah.
You know?
Going back to my old my old job. So we hired this guy, and then it was a simple request, as he would spend hours on an edit. Like, okay, Benjamin says, yeah, they triple checked. Okay, good. This guy would spend hours on an edit that should only take, maybe 30 minutes. And so I'm looking over his project. I'm like, okay, that's cool. Hey, put a slug of black, right click, insert slug.
Right.
And he's like, oh, what's a slug of black? What is that? And it's like little things told me that this guy had no idea what he was doing. But so we eventually fired him. But I mean, think about it. And this guy was getting paid really well. He's getting paid better than me when he got hired, because apparently he's an amazing After Effects guy. He's a great editor and stuff like that. So my boss hired him, and it's like, nope, that guy walked away with, what? A week or two worth of free work of not actually doing anything. Dude, like, whatever. I can say don't do that, but people don't care about people who are doing this stuff probably aren't listening to our podcast.
No, exactly. But it's good to point out that they need to look out for these people. I mean, the first thing I would have done if I were suspicious of this is I would have looked at, like, I don't know, like one of the Nintendo ones, and been like, oh, so you worked for Nintendo? And just kind of see how it goes over, and be like, oh, okay, well, what did you do in this? And start asking them, and if they can't answer these questions...
Yeah.
I mean...
Oh, one of my favorite things that Benjamin was saying, during the interview, he said, oh, we'd love to see some of your projects so that, we can, like, get a sense of how you work and blah, blah, blah. And the guy was like, oh, I was mugged, like, 3 weeks ago. And he said he came in with his arm in a sling, And he's like, okay, I guess that makes sense, But his MacBook that he was working on got stolen, so, like, along with all of his files and stuff,
What's the point then? What is the point?
What is the point?
What is the point? That's what I'm trying to figure out.
Right. Like, I could understand if, like, you're like, okay, I'm a flat fee, blah, 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 and you need to pay a 50% down payment, and then you take the money and run.
Was he going to outsource? Well, no, he was going to come in. He couldn't outsource this stuff. I mean, I understand, like, if you're going to try and outsource this.
Yeah, it's... whatever.
But,
first interview was no cast. But the day after the interview, he said he was jumped.
Gotcha.
That's why he didn't have anything. Yeah.
So
Second
weird.
interview with the cast. Wow, you guys did 2 interviews with him? That's crazy.
He beat himself and out.
Man.
Right?
So weird.
I wanted to go to an email real quick.
He probably actually did get jumped, but it was by loan sharks.
Yeah. Let's go to an email real quick. Somebody had a question, and maybe you can help answer this. It's something that kind of has to be explained on an audio show a little bit, so we'll see what we can do here. This is from
I'm ready for adventure.
Mark Cregan, I think is how you pronounce that. Are you going to the mall later today? Haven't done that in a while.
Haven't done that in so long.
Yeah. So, let's see. Mark here from New Zealand here again. I asked about the resin of files from EXR to Photoshop a while back. This is probably another schoolboy howler, but hey, this is a doozy, so I'll try and break the question down into bits. I have an awesome, expensive model that I used to do a job a while back for a still that I want to use again for an animation, and it's kind of a deflating type animation. The model is rigged for motion, and when I try and remove the rig to just have the mesh so I can deflate it, the poly gets all screwed up, crossing over each other, and there's holes and all that. This is messing up the deflate motion I have with my soft body deflate. Is there any way I can remove the rigging and get a decent mesh to deflate the sim? To do the deflate sim?
Can't you just convert to current object or current state to object?
Maybe. One of the things I was thinking, he mentions in here, he just got R20, but he hasn't used it much because he's waiting on Octane. And what I'm thinking is
bake it to Alembic.
Exactly. You could do that now. You could just right-click and bake it and be done. I think that would work.
Well, you always could bake it to Alembic, but now it's just easier.
Yeah,
right.
It's a whole lot easier.
Right. And
yeah, there we go. Billy says just export a single frame as an OBJ or Alembic. Yeah.
Yeah. That sounds like it would work. Problem solved. But he wants an
Yep.
email back too. I don't know if he listens or... I guess he does. Sometimes we get emails and I don't know if they're listeners or if they're just emailing the, website. So, I should probably...
I haven't sent you guys an email for so long.
I know, we need them emails, yo. Everybody. And we haven't had any rants come in, email rants from you in a while, so...
Yeah. Yeah, we get them all on the rants channel.
Yeah. I put everything in there now. I did send Liam a beautiful email with a very deep question.
Oh yeah.
So I'll send you guys one.
Okay.
Okay.
How about the new trap code Suite 15? Did you see that?
Yeah, I saw that.
Oh man.
I didn't see that. I'm sorry.
Okay, so particular, for those who haven't seen, particular, they're adding the ability to do like water-esque or
yeah, they're adding fluid dynamics.
Fluid dynamics into
That's cool.
particular. That's awesome. Super excited.
It is. I
about
wonder how
that.
long it takes to render though,
Yeah. I don't know.
or to even calculate or whatever. I don't know.
Well,
how-
it is After Effects.
right.
Which is
that was my
very
only question.
Potato.
That's all you need to do is After Effects.
Matt's face is a potato now.
Yes.
Very potato.
So, I guess I would like to wait and see if there's a good comparison online. They had I forget which studio it was. They gave it to a studio before it was released, and they said, "Here, make some cool stuff with it."
Mhm.
And they have a really cool video, but I'm like, I wonder if this is easier or harder to use than something in 3D. So
Probably easier.
yeah.
I mean, yeah, just fluid
Maybe.
dynamics
So,
do look really
Well, the one thing that I like about particular
in
currently,
in particular,
in particular.
one thing I like about particular now is that they have the whole particle builder, versus like way back in the day, where you had to actually know what every single thing did, instead of going through.
Yeah,
Now with the
that's true.
particle builder and stuff, you can
more
like
intuitive.
instantly click and be like, okay, I like that, I don't like that, I want that, I don't want that, and then you're good to go. It's so much easier now. It was a smart decision on their behalf. So I bet anything like it's gonna be similar to that. You're gonna be able to use a particle builder
This
in order.
is how they're gonna get me, because we all have the entire Red Giant suite, but now they
Yes,
just
we do.
released this cool thing,
Yep.
and there's gonna be some
Yep.
upgrade price, isn't there? How much does it cost?
oh,
Yeah, I don't know.
is it not just included if you have that?
No.
It's an upgrade. Like there's been like 2 versions since we got our free one at NAB.
No.
Oh,
really?
I think there's been 2.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
but
Because
I
it was an upgrade
redid
right
mine.
after NAB. Oh, $199 to upgrade.
It's not
It's not
horrible,
too
but
bad.
see, they're gonna get me.
Yeah.
Will you
Yeah.
get it if you just renew next year? Because like I
Oh.
renewed mine.
Oh, you did?
Yeah. Because I
Oh,
needed a
nice.
bunch of stuff that I had been using in it before. That's how they get you.
You renewed Universe or what?
Universe.
Yeah, okay.
Oh,
I
okay.
did not.
Yeah. Well, Universe is completely separate than the other
Yeah.
thing.
Oh. Okay. I was
Yeah.
confused.
Particular.
Yeah,
you
Universe
actually-
is just like a collection of additional plugins and cool effects and things.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I feel really bad because like I won a universe at NED and I literally never opened it.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, I mean,
I have that
I
same
rarely
experience.
ever open it. I think if you're doing a lot of
After Effects
like
stuff.
video editing,
Yeah.
and some After Effects stuff, it's a lot of the things are pretty stylized, and so unless you're specifically looking for a VHS filter, or something like
Yeah.
that, like I don't know, I don't always go to it. Oh,
Yeah.
and G-Rant says Black Friday sale in a month, guys, so keep that
Cool.
in mind.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's true.
I was given HDRI Studio Pro or whatever that's called. That awesome like lighting tool. And I feel really bad because the CEO sent it to me directly because of the Brograph lighting talk that I did. And
Oh,
I still
nice.
haven't even opened it, and it's been
Wait,
like
HDRI
a year.
Studio?
Yeah, like the good
You
one.
have that and you're
Yeah.
not using it?
I'm not.
Oh, dude.
That's so terrible. Yeah, it's
Wow.
hard. Like just.
Hey, I'll take it off your hands.
Right. Yeah, I mean that's actually fine. But
HDRI Studio, if you're listening. I will gladly take a free version
Right.
of that software.
Right.
Let's do a little VR corner for a minute.
Oh, hold on.
Yeah.
VR corner.
Oh my god.
Oh,
Oh,
boy.
nice.
I've been waiting the whole show for this one.
Fine, that's awesome.
It almost looks like the headphones are part of the graphic.
The headphones are part of the
They
graphic.
are.
The wire?
No, not the wire.
Yeah,
Oh, the
yeah,
wire.
yeah.
Oh, look,
Yeah,
my
that-
face is all like outlined too.
Hmm.
You're so digital.
Going
all
into
wire
the
framing.
Oasis.
Oh, Territory did the particular video. Territory Studios.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
that makes
So, let's talk about some VR stuff because Sage,
Yep.
you were working on something.
Yeah, Sage, tell us about your project. Tell us about your newest project.
So for the past pretty much year, I guess, I stopped working on it about a month ago. I've been working on a VR cinematic short. It's like a Pixar short in VR. It's not really that short. It's like 38 minutes long, but it's short by the Academy standards or whatever. And yeah, it's like a full narrative that you put on your headset and you watch like a Pixar or animated movie, basically.
Like
And-
Henry, is that the one that they came out with way back in the day?
Yeah, so there's a couple
Yeah.
of them like that. There's like that one. There's Melita. There's Alumet. So there are a few of them that are like that. But we tried to do somewhat like more cinematic style. Like if you watch Alumet and you watch Melita, they tend to be, well, not so much Melita, but Alumet specifically is fairly static. Like the camera is fairly static. You kind of look at everything from one point of view. And then Melita does have a few moving cameras, but they're not really crazy because a lot of people tend to get motion sickness and stuff like that.
right.
So what we did is we have two different versions of the story where we have static cameras and we have like cinematic cameras, but it is an authored narrative, so there are like cuts like there would be in a regular film. There are we did experiment with like when you watch it, because you guys are supposed to have watched it.
Sorry. I'll watch
Yeah.
it today.
When you watch it, we try to experiment, because in VR there's no such thing as like a tight shot or a wide shot. Everything is always wide because you can see everything always. You can see everything
Right,
around.
right.
Right.
Oh,
So
that's crazy.
we experimented with a few techniques to try and get the same feel. So one of them would be change your IPD, your interpupillary distance, in the headset, so it looks like things get really small or things get really big.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
As a means to kind of keep the emotion
So
from
interesting.
when you have like a tight shot. So like in film, when you have a tight shot or when you have a wide angle shot, like they're used for different purposes and different reasons, and they tell the story in different ways. And we still wanted to try and keep those. So yeah, one of the big things that we did was to change your interpupillary distance so that when you need a wide shot, things feel like they're miniature. Like all the characters feel like they're miniature, the world feels like it's a miniature, and you can kind of, you as a person feel bigger, so you kind of
That's
quote
so
unquote
cool.
see more. And then when
That's
it's
cool.
a tight shot, like your interpupillary distance gets really small and you're like a bug and you can't move around as much because it's because it is VR and it is real time, it's not a video.
Mhm.
You can
Is it a
like
full
walk around if
360
you wanted to.
experience or
Yeah, it's full 360.
Okay,
It's like
Sweet.
basically it's
That's
a
so
game.
crazy.
And
Yeah, so you're
you-
having to like reinvent or like create a new language or try to uphold the old film language but in a new medium. It's so
Exactly.
insane.
Exactly. And it is it is an experiment. Like we've been getting feedback, and some people don't like the scale changes, and some people are like, "Oh, it's super cool." So yeah, it's like it's an experiment in a lot of ways. But I think it's a fairly robust experiment, for want of a better word. And we did get into the Venice Film Festival.
All right.
Nice.
The Venice Film Festival does have like a full VR category. It's not like a sideshow. Like they have a lot of support for that medium, and they're trying to push that medium forward. So we got in. We didn't win, but I think part of it is because we tried to make something that was still fairly marketable. like to the masses kind of, and shows like that tend to be a little more either on the more experimental side or on the more like artistic side. So one was a project that had like 10 times our budget. And it was a lot simpler in the story it was trying to tell, but it was extremely polished. So yeah, our thing does, you know, like the working in an environment like that does have its challenges. So when, for example, if you're doing an animated short, and I'm sure David, you know this, what's outside the frame doesn't matter.
Right.
As long as it looks good in picture, in camera,
exactly,
it's fine. But in VR, you can't do that.
You can't hide
everything
anything.
Needs to good. Everything needs to look good from every angle always.
Yeah, that sucks. I don't want to work that way.
I did some work with EJ for like a Icebreakers 360 VR thing, you know, for Facebook, that they were posting on Facebook. And like it's hard because you literally, and what the hardest part for me was I'd start creating something in C4D, export it as a 360, then put on my headset and be like, okay, does this look good? Does this? Nope. All right, good. Let's go ahead and change it. Go through and make some changes. Got to put on the headset. You know, it made it very difficult to work. It was
I really
time
want
consuming.
a good interface between cinema and VR.
So that is a challenge as well. Don't realize is that the gamma inside of our Oculus headset tends to be different from the gamma of the screen. So when you're doing color correction, and it's also different from a Vive, so you can only do like, so when you're doing like post effects, like you can't really do post effects that much, but you can do some to something like that. Like in the game engine, there are a few, like Unreal has a few tools for you to be able to add post effects in VR. Like you could add a ton of post effects if it's not VR, like bloom and glow and depth of field and all that kind of stuff. But you can't
turn
do that
those,
in VR.
turn that RTX on.
And that'll make people super sick if you try to any of that stuff. So you can do a certain amount of color correction, but because the gamma between like your screen and an Oculus and a Vive are all different, like you kind of have to juggle that a bit. And it is kind of frustrating that you have to like put it on and then check it and then take it off or whatever. But I guess because you're not rendering it out, that iterative process is much faster because you're doing it in the engine in real time. Like you don't have to wait for a render to see or to time things or anything like that. Like you just put it on and you see what you see and then you can fix it like immediately.
So is this the same project that you're rigging up with D-Box, or is that a different one?
So that's my so the backtracking a little bit. The company I work for has like two different sides to it. One is making VR content, and then the other is developing VR technology.
Okay.
Generally.
Cool.
So like, for example, the short that we worked on, we actually developed a full body like motion capture rig using Vive controllers and Vive trackers to do all the previs for that. And then we found a better tool that we just bought online, but we did develop one in-house.
Nice. Cool.
You know, that's the way those things go.
Yeah.
So yeah, like the technology, the VR technology half of the company, they have developed a really big VR distribution platform that really big names use, like Discovery VR and Nat Geo and New York Times, and they all use like this platform that we built in-house for the distribution of VR content. So cool. That platform is expanding to also include location-based entertainment. So if you ran an arcade and you wanted to, have like a system to control the content on each machine and distribute the content and all that kind of stuff, like it's the same backbone system. It's expanding to include location-based entertainment. So that requires, and we've also decided we're going to try and do some turnkey solutions. So if you wanted to start an arcade, you could just buy like a kiosk from us directly, and it will come with all the software pre-configured and all that kind of stuff. So what I've been doing is, because I used to be an architect, I've been designing all that stuff and handling all the manufacturing of it.
Wow.
The current one that we're doing is it's going to IAAPA, which is like the International Amusement Park Association, like or something like that. Okay. It's basically if you ran an arcade or you were Disney or something and you wanted like to see, it's like NAB for those people. So we're building a booth with D-Box chairs.
Nice.
That's a VR booth. You sit in the D-Box chair, which is like a motion chair. And put the headset on and run an experience.
Sounds fun.
So yeah, all the software and all the stuff that runs that thing is being developed by the user team, which is the team that built that distribution platform, and then I'm doing the hardware. But the Grade C, which is the name of the short that I worked on, is going to be one of the pieces of content on that thing.
Oh, cool.
So if you're at IAAPA, which is like in 2 weeks, you can come by and check out the VRX booth, because they're the partner that we have partnered with to do the manufacturing, and they have their own booths and they make their own racing simulators, I think. So we have a space in their booth. They're manufacturing our D-Box like thing, so you could walk by and check it out, or you could just buy it on Oculus or Vive.
What's the website for that?
It's only like $5 or $6, right?
Yeah, it's like $6.
Yeah.
What's the website?
Everyone can afford $6. Just don't buy a coffee.
Yeah, the website. I actually have no idea. Just Google it. Just search it on Steam or Oculus. It'll come up.
It's the letter C.
Yeah,
not
the letter C.
SEA.
Wait,
the great
C.
Oh, yeah. EJ's in the chat.
EJ.
What up, EJ?
He said, "What's up, OBJ?" I'm apparently OBJ now.
Octane baby Jesus.
I'm an OBJ sequence.
To do all of the VR stuff. So the studio uses both Unity. Well, I used to use Unity exclusively. I've done a couple experiences that weren't that great with this company using Unity. But the Grade C, which is the short that I just talked about, was all Unreal. But moving forward, we're going back to using just Unity for a variety of reasons, which we can get into if you guys want to.
Yeah, I kind of want to get into that. Talk to me about your workflow with Unity and Cinema 4D. And I just want to throw this out there while I'm thinking about it. Maxon has been asking people if they're interested in...
Epic.
Is it Epic?
It's Epic.
Yeah,
Okay.
Epic.
And Epic is asking if people are interested in being able to directly work with Cinema 4D files inside Unity. Unreal, whatever.
Yeah.
I can't keep track of all of them. So anyway, there's like a survey going on. I think if you search...
I have taken it.
So have I, yeah. If you search Maxon's Twitter account, they've got it posted somewhere along there. But yeah, go on there and mention that you do want to see everything. Wow, Sage, this looks really good.
Yeah, these are really. This is super pretty.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you've been designing the environments
for this thing. Yeah. So basically, even though at the end of this you'll see a credit list of like 100 people, I'll be completely blunt with you guys. It was only a team of maybe about 10 people that made this whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Like there's a core team of like 8 people, and then we did have maybe 4 or 5 offsite animators. But basically, me and 2 other guys did everything in there in terms of in terms of not sound.
We lost you.
It's funny you said not sound. Oh, there you are.
Oh, there you go.
We lost you
Your
for a second.
Skype went potato.
Oh,
there you go. There you are.
Hello.
Yeah, we're here.
Yeah, me and 2 guys built everything that's not a character.
Wow, that's really cool.
Jeez.
Over the course of 8 months. So it's like it's something like 22 or 23 full 3D environments, production ready, all the lighting, all the texturing, all the animation in terms of scenes. So if there's like particles flying through, or there's lights turning on, or anything that's not a character, it's really like a prop or
That's so cool.
Me and two other guys did.
So did you use Cinema 4D to build the environments, or do you have to work directly in Unreal? You did? Okay, cool.
Yep. Most of it is actually like 2 of the 3 guys who built everything are C4D users. So it was the art director, who's one of them, me, who's the senior 3D artist, and then our concept designer actually became a 3D artist because it was just too much shit to make. So he started modeling as well, but he uses Modo. But because he wasn't, at least at the beginning, as attuned to making production game assets, I would have to take all of his assets anyway and like either remodel them or bring them down or optimize, unwrap, because you need to unwrap everything that comes into a game engine.
Damn, sucks. Yeah.
What do you use? Do you use C4D in order to do it?
Yeah, I use C4D for everything. Like you can use the auto unwrap for most of it if you're using procedural textures. So unless you have like a really specific, like unless you take it into Substance Painter and you do like a really specific one-off texture for that one thing, then it's you probably want a proper unwrap. But if you're just doing like unwraps for light map baking and like procedural textures, which we had to use because there was just way too much content to do individual painting for each stuff. So yeah, if you're using like procedural textures and stuff, you can use the C4D auto unwrap. It's actually not that bad.
Cool.
EJ was asking about Olympics. Did you see that in the chat? In Unity?
So yeah, Olympics. For animated meshes, right? As far as I know, they aren't. I don't know if that has changed. The thing about Olympics, like, it just really depends on what you're using it for. So like we have in the experience, in the Great C, we have 1 Alembic file, I think, or 2, mostly because even though you can bring them in and they work in Unreal, you pay a price in terms of scene loading to get them in there. So the longer the Alembic file, and the more complex the animation, the bigger the file is, and it takes much longer to load in. And it's way cheaper for you to have a more complicated FBX with bones, because that's the other thing. Unreal doesn't accept any kind of animation that isn't bone based if it's not Alembic.
Oh, weird.
Which is kind of frustrating. But in the process, I've discovered a few workflows for you to get motion graphics type animations into Unreal using bones.
Cool.
It's not great, but it does work. So like the logo at the very beginning is broken apart using C4D format fracture.
I was wondering that, yeah.
And that, yeah, it's in the experience. Like if you watch when you watch it, I brought that in. It's the exact same animation between the trailer and in the experience. It's just
that's so rad.
In the experience, is baked down to like 300 bones.
Wow, that's crazy. So how much is handled by Unreal? I'm guessing all of the haze, and the lighting is Unreal?
Everything that you see in the trailer is Unreal.
Well, I understand that. I just mean like, in terms of like, do you model, or do you put in all the blades of grass, for instance, in C4D and that comes across? Or do you like scatter things in Unreal? Like how much are you doing in Unreal versus C4D is what I'm asking. Like Unreal is kind of like the render engine here, so it's obviously doing like the lighting and the environment stuff, but what about like the particles that are like flying through the scene? Are those Unreal particles and like the fire, stuff like that? So
the particles are Unreal, the fire is Unreal, the blades of grass is all in Unreal as well. Like you do, so the particles would be an Unreal particle system, which is actually fairly robust. Like it has like particle fields and stuff as well. Like at the very end, there are a couple. If you watch it, there are a few moments that you have like some fairly complex particle, like VFX things happening.
Yeah.
Where they use the Unreal particle fields, and then like the fire, all that stuff is just faked when you look at it really closely. It's just like a really simple particle emitter with a sprite sheet.
Right.
So it looks like fire, but it's actually like flat, sprite sheets that are being emitted. I mean, and then like for the blades of grass, the Unreal has a texture painter that we use to do terrain like scattering. So you could say, on the green channel, scatter these pieces of grass, or this type of tree, or You know,
Cool.
there's a terrain object that lets you handle kind of how that works and how those pieces of geometry are instanced and stuff like that. You have to do all that in Unreal because you don't want to pay the price, at least on a VR game, you don't want to pay the price of needing to render like 1,000 trees. You only want to render one tree and tell them, you know, put this one tree in 50 places or 1,000
Right,
places.
of course.
Keep talking. I'll be right back.
So who directed the lighting? Who did you guys all share in that task?
We did. Mostly it was the art director who did the lighting, Stephen Bosco. He's extremely talented
Cool.
lighting guy. And the thing, like the storyline, to talk about the storyline a little bit, it's like a Philip K. Dick who is the writer, like he's the original writer of stuff like Blade Runner and like Minority Report. Like his stories are what those movies are based on. So it's a Philip K. Dick story, which means it's kind of sci-fi. But he specifically, really early on, he didn't want it to be. It's a post-apocalyptic story, but he didn't want it to look like Fallout or any of those like post-apocalyptic games that are just like one shade of haze brown.
Right.
So there's a lot of like really almost vibrant colors in there, like vibrancy.
Yeah.
Like
Kind of reminds me of like Beyond Good and Evil in style or something.
yeah. So there's some definite stylization for the lighting and stylization just generally. But yeah, he did a really great job. Like what usually would happen is I would do like a first pass. I was responsible for building almost every environment. So like put together the environment in Unreal because our concept artist never used Unreal before. So he was making models. I was optimizing them as I needed and bringing them into Unreal and relaying out these scenes as necessary. And once that was done, I would do like a first pass at texturing and lighting.
Cool.
And then he would take it and like take it to the next level, basically.
Sweet. So how did you guys direct like the viewer's eye? Like, I mean, it works, you know, we're watching this trailer here on Steam and it works as like a cinematic piece, you know, in 16:9, but I imagine like it's really difficult when you've got a full 360 experience and the audience is like facing backwards, like, and what are the techniques that you guys use?
That actually never happens in the experience itself. We do use like regular cinematic convention of like cuts, so we cut camera angles to keep you always looking at what you should be, basically.
Okay.
And like I said, like it's an experiment in a lot of ways with using those conventions and trying to translate those conventions to VR and see how well they work. And you guys can like watch it and let me know like.
So you're saying people are just like interested in where the action is, basically, so they just follow that, rather than like turning around and looking at the grass or something like that.
You're always facing forward, like it is a controlled view. Like we do cut so that your forward direction is where the action is.
So what if, say you spun around on one of these scenes and just wanted to check out whatever the hell's behind you and look at the grass or something. When it cuts, are you saying that now the audience would be facing the action again? So every time it cuts, it reorients?
If you looked around, like if you look behind you and cut, you'd still be looking backwards.
Okay, so you're just saying you're a jerk if you're like turned around and looking back.
Yeah, like you'll miss stuff if you look around. But people do. Like there's no way to not have people look around.
Yeah.
But what we've also found is the people who look around are people who are more seasoned in VR and they just want to look at things.
Or maybe it's like the second or third time they've watched the film and they're like, well, now I'm going to like explore this a bit more. Or yeah.
But people who are trying it for the first time, which is most people, they tend to just look straight on. They don't really look around that much. Like they can, and you get a lot of the motion sickness alleviated from VR videos by having it be like a full environment where you're actually present and you have real stereo and not like fake stereo. And you have like facialization. Like that does help a lot of people. So like in the cinematic version, which we actually thought a lot more people would be sick with, surprisingly a lot less people are sick than we thought.
Because it's slow-moving cameras, or what? How? Like,
we are not 100% sure why that is, to be perfectly honest.
But it is slow-moving cameras, right?
Yeah, it seems like
some,
it. Trailer.
mostly moving cameras. There are some kind of very interesting camera moves. I'm not gonna lie. None of them are super quick, but
that's because of the motion sickness thing.
Not necessarily. Like the cinematic version, we said motion sickness be down. Basically, like if you were gonna get motion sick, you watch the static camera version. You watch the comfort version. That's what we call it, comfort and cinematic. So like when you go into the experience, there's a calibration screen to make sure that your forward center for the whole experience is calibrated. So you do that, and then you're faced with the selection of comfort or cinematic. So like if you think you're gonna get motion sick, you watch your comfort mode. If you think you're gonna be okay, you watch the cinematic mode. But most people tend to watch the cinematic mode by default, and they don't get sick. It's kind of interesting.
Yeah, that's been my biggest thing. Even on slower moving things, has been the motion sickness. Like if something's taking you, even in a regular game, if something like grabs you and takes a hold of you and like moves you towards something, like I don't know, like what's in Super Hot, when you fall, it's like, oh god, like I can't do it.
When I had to jump, when you had to jump off the building, I actually screamed.
I love that part.
The first time I did it.
Do you know what that feels like to me? That feels like two things. If you've ever had the dream where you're falling, it's the worst. Or if you've ever had way too much alcohol and you try and close your eyes and go to sleep and you just feel like you get like
spinning.
But have you ever had that, like you had too much to drink, you start to nod off and you feel like you're falling and you have to wake up and like grab yourself? Am I the only one that experiences that?
Yeah.
Yep, you're the only one.
I mean, you know, I'm kind of weird, so you never know. Could just be me.
It's just.
But yeah, so in the Great Sea, like we also have another game coming out that actually some of you guys help test, Transpose. I think that comes out like next week.
Cool.
Which is,
what is it?
Transpose.
It's called Transpose.
Oh.
You can pick it up. Is
there a preview?
There is a preview now. There wasn't last week, but there is now. It's a puzzle game. I didn't really work on that one. I would spend all my time underwater on the Great Sea. But it's more of a traditional game. Kind of like MC Escher meets Portal.
Cool.
Ooh, cool. Oh, yeah. I'm looking at the preview right now. Pretty cool.
So MC Escher, so like you walk up walls and stuff, and like, or is it like those illusions?
The game mechanic is when you actually play with echoes of yourself, so you can rewind and fast forward time, and you have to like pass this cube. Basically, the point of each level is to take the cube from wherever it is and put it into that like heart thing that just exploded, and you're powering up like this ancient machine that future people have left for you. It's kind of very cerebral and meta in that way in terms of the storyline. But yeah, like you play each level like multiple times and then you can interact with those echoes, like those recordings of yourself playing through the level. So there are puzzles in there that require you to like pass or throw the cube from like one platform to another platform that you can't get to.
Oh, that's like in the Rick and Morty game. You have to be the Meeseeks operating each other, and they all move the same way. You have to place them in the right place so that you can pass things to yourself. Yeah.
So that's that game that comes out on the 9th, I believe.
Nice. Oh, we also need to mention that, was it last night on Adult Swim? Tokyo Megaplex's...
Oh yeah, Tokyo Megaplex's show.
Yeah!
Oh my god, Tokyo Megaplex sent that to me, and it's like the coolest and most amazing thing ever.
It's trippy.
You guys have seen it?
It's pretty trippy.
And like the rendering quality...
Drake saw it.
She was like, that's weird.
Drake saw it. The jump between... like Tokyo Megaplex's last film looked really good, but this one, the rendering quality and the animation are just even better. It's like really high quality, and nobody else is doing that style. It's really unique.
Except that one studio that uses Maxwell. I always forget their name.
I don't know.
It's a very, very like cartoony style.
Is that the one with the,
I know what you're
the
talking
cat
about.
thing?
Yeah, I put the cat on the reel. Yeah, I forget the name of that.
Oh, the
studio.
reel. Did we talk about the reel?
No.
Yeah,
okay. Your 3-hour reel, right?
Yeah. So people for Control Z tasked me with creating, just like pulling my favorite stuff from the past like year and a half, and so I just like ripped off everybody's videos from the internet and compiled it into like this 3-hour loop for the party, and then I had to like do credit slides for every single video, which took forever. So I worked on this thing for at least 3 or 4 days.
I was thinking about that, dude. I saw all his credit slides and all that info, and I was like, oh, you had to write all of that.
Yeah, I had to paste all that in, but whatever. It was worth it, and it was really fun seeing people's reactions at the party to their work, or like my Dead Mouse Cart thing popped up when I was talking to Clint from Corridor Digital / Rocket Jump, and it was just really fun. It was such a great party, and it was great to build the atmosphere with that and celebrate everybody's work, and see people get hyped. And also,
it was funny because like we'd be standing around, just like we'd all be talking, and then we'd like trail off
somebody's stuff
because we would all be watching the videos that were up on the walls,
cool.
Or the people inside. None of them were talking to each other. They were literally just watching the stuff.
They were like watching and dancing.
And dancing. It was so weird.
This is like the first, motion design party that's ever had a dance floor. It's just it was way too cool for a crowd.
Right.
Like it should not have happened.
Does that mean we're getting cooler, or
I don't know.
Does that mean
like everyone was there? It was amazing.
Except DJ.
Except DJ. G-Rant.
I'm Grant.
And anybody from Grayscale Gorilla. Lost you guys again.
People actually sent me a message.
Oh boy. We lost Dave.
I lost you, sorry.
That's okay.
I don't know why it just signs out. I gotta make sure I get you guys back here though. Hold on.
I didn't realize their Googly Eyes one had a warpy thing going on in the background.
It does? Oh yeah, it does.
Yeah, like warp in the back.
There we go. I got you back.
Googly Eyes.
Yeah.
People are actually like Beeple sent me a message just yesterday that some studio, their work was up there, and they heard it through the grapevine that or like they're getting work from it. Like somebody was like watching, some important person at the party was watching and like sent them some work. So that's really cool too, and they were really appreciative. So that was the studio that made Proteus. I don't know if you guys have seen Proteus, but it's one of my favorites from last year. Yeah.
And I appreciate you putting my Dead Mouse pinball in there.
Of course, dude.
That was fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So I actually did get to see EJ though recently, even though he's been a poopy pants and has been hiding from everyone. He was
Gosh, I'm telling you, man.
He was
that
guy. Yeah.
He was at DMA LA. I get it. You don't want to talk to us anymore, EJ. It's fine.
Yep.
It's fine.
Dude, he's got that School of Motion money, I'm telling you. He's rich now.
I'm rich.
We drank some beers. It was great.
He just drinks beers and goes hiking all day now.
Yeah, that's all his Facebook is.
It sounds amazing.
Pretty rad.
Sounds pretty amazing.
Yeah. Hopefully I'm going to get to do a School of
Just
Motion.
smoking all this dankety dank.
All the dankness.
Smoke all the dank.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, crap.
What?
I have to leave in 5 minutes.
Oh no.
Crap. All right.
Yeah.
Well, then we need to do Beatles people.
All right.
Okay,
so...
I mean, I could just, leave it blank and you guys could keep going.
I mean, we could.
I have to go pick up my kid.
That's fine. You're just
see, Sage has got to leave.
We're all like,
so honestly, we should skip Beeple's People and just go
we
straight
can't.
to Brograph Recommends.
We can't skip it. Here, just we'll go through it really fast. But
have you talked about? I don't know if you spoke about on the podcast last week, but Beeple started actually doing stories.
That's why we have to talk about it.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Because all right. So bring up your Beeple viewer of choice. Okay. We're gonna finish this in 10 minutes, guys. All right.
Oh, real quick.
Right.
This is so like.
Well, I don't have 10 minutes.
5 minutes
real
of
quick,
Beeple's People. All right.
Did I tell you guys that like I love this, like the just dialogue of the podcast and the repetition of it. Like, so I was on the road with Chelsea, and at some point, like, I was listening to the podcast, like, on my way up to the Beeple party, and then, you know, Beeple's People came on, because I was catching up on all these episodes, and I was like, before you even said it, I was like, hey, babe, do you have the Beeple viewer of choice up?
Yeah.
Could you get the Beeple viewer of choice? Yeah. I'm like, which year of our Lord is this again?
All right. Yeah. So take out your Beeple viewer of choice. Go to October 23rd, year of our Lord 2018. This is called Russian Bot 2096. Oh dear. It's got audio. All right. I'll mute that there. So you can see here that this is a bot, and it has like this Facebook stuff on it, and robot arms. And okay, we don't have to get too much into this, but the reason I'm bringing it up is because there's another one on October 23rd, and the title of it is Year of Our Lord 2096.
Oh,
Yeah.
snap.
Oh shit.
Amazing.
So
Beepleception.
that's some Beepleception right there.
That's
so he
for
wrote a
sure
story.
Beepleception.
And, you know, we were talking about, you know, because I had talked to him about the book and said, hey, would it be cool if, like, I wrote something and, you know, get you to check it out and see what you think, you know? And so we caught up about that when we were at the party, and we were talking about writing, and we were like, the writing has to be really good. It has to be a really good story. It's got to be like, you know, like Star Wars or something, you know, it's got to be like, it can't just be like a crap story. So Beeple's People has to be a good story. And then literally the next day, like, here you go, Year of Our Lord 2096. And so he wrote this awesome little short story here about it. And it's about Russian bots becoming physical giants, and the United States government being paralyzed with politics and unable to defend its people. And then, I like this at the end, he says, we've been fighting this war for 32 years now. So, 32 years...
That's a super timeline.
Yeah, because 32 years before 2096, I think leads to a different one that he posted the other day, if I'm not mistaken. But now we know how long the
stupid
thing
Instagram faces are just driving me crazy right
God.
now. Or whatever you call them.
is. Such a distraction.
Snapchat. Yeah.
You're not going to be able to leave because you're distracting us, see?
It's not my fault, you guys. Just keep talking.
And so he did another
Just
one.
being drowned by
on-
gems here.
He did two more on October 20th. Oh no, one more on October 23rd and another on October 26th. But I think these were based off renders he had done before, I think. But he wrote the little stories with them, and it's awesome. I really love it. Like, these are really cool stories. So
Yeah.
so check those out. And then I did want to go over an actual render. It's October 28th. Let's see.
Ah, the Great Pumpkin.
I love that
Love
one.
that one.
It's amazing.
But October 28th.
Really solid lighting. I love the lighting
Yeah.
in this.
Oh
I
yeah,
agree.
that was
Yeah.
good. That was
I agree.
good. But the October 28th is Super Babies. Did you see that one? Super Babies is like,
Yeah.
you know, where they're creating the Beeple's People in the liquid.
The giant people in the
Yeah,
liquid.
the giant
Yeah.
people.
So
Those are the little Beatles people making the regular sized people.
yeah.
Mhm.
But
I think it's regular sized people meaning giant people.
but I wonder
think
what
they're
the
making
difference
giant
is
people, yeah.
between like the babies, because some of the other ones do these grow to human size in here, or do they become born?
They grow to
as
massive
as
size.
babies? But yeah, but do they become adults before they're like released and woken up to be a? I don't know.
I don't know.
But you'll notice that there's this person like watching here in the right
My
corner,
alarm. I gotta go.
and that's what I loved about that, is the person in the corner. All right, so let's pause for a second so Matt can finish. I'll set a
No.
marker. You
Squish
save.
face right now.
You save and send me the file, Matt, and we'll
Yep.
we'll get you out of here.
All right, everyone. It was fun.
All right,
Well,
and
I
we'll,
was here.
We'll wrap up and
While
do
I was
the
here.
recommends when you leave here.
Okay,
So-
bye, guys. It was
All right,
fun.
see you later.
Bye, dude.
All right.
All right.
See ya, buddy.
All right, now on the fly, I gotta change this over here because I gotta change Matt to Sage.
Oh my god.
All right, you can no longer see his distracting face. There we go.
Thank-
It was
Whoa.
so funny though, man. I was fooling in so many laughs.
Yeah, no, I was like muting my mic a bunch of times.
Yeah, let's not do that every week.
No.
All right, so Yeah, just the last thing I was going to say about that is, can I go to 3x screen, or is it going to show Matt? No, it's working. Okay, cool. So if you look here in the corner, look at the random person standing there. It's like they're watching.
Ooh, Overlord.
Yeah, he's the Overlord.
Exactly. And so I really like that part about this particular piece, because this is like the person in charge of this whole crazy operation or whatever's about to happen. But man, that's
also
just so
stylistically,
cool.
it's like it's really interesting because he's in all black and all the workers are in all white.
Mm-hmm.
It could
So
be.
it just creates that like visual contrast.
Yeah, good composition and good contrast for sure.
Yeah. It's like Darth Vader watching the droids or whatever. But all right, I wanted to do Brograph recommends before we take off, because Sage, you were on the program so long ago we didn't have Brograph recommends.
That is true. We also didn't have People's People.
That's true. So go to.
It was before the show was a show.
I don't know if you looked
Back
at
when
these
David was
already.
on every other week.
Right.
Everyone just talked about shows.
David, you can be on every other week still if you want. I'm just saying.
You guys are
Anytime
sweet.
you want, bro.
Okay.
We still have to do the future episode soon, so
That's true.
yeah. All right, let's go to your favorite movie.
Ooh. Anything by Chris Nolan. I love that guy.
Yeah.
Cool. Music. Favorite music.
Soca music, which I don't think any of you know. It's the music of my people. It's in my
Nice.
reel.
Oh yeah.
That's
So,
awesome.
yeah, it's music from Trinidad, which is where I'm from.
Right.
Cool.
Favorite TV show at the moment, let's say.
At the moment, I have a favorite TV show of all time. That's easy.
What's that?
Avatar: The Last Airbender.
Oh, I love
okay.
Avatar. It's so good.
Yeah.
And they're
Oh,
bringing it
oh.
back as like a live action thing, which may
So I've
be
heard,
awesome
so-
or may
Or
suck.
may suck.
horribly.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
may suck, but the original cartoon, if you can get through like the first half of the first season, because it's kind
Yeah.
of more kiddie,
Mm-hmm.
even get through the first season, man, it's so good.
It's so
well
good.
done.
All right. Your favorite podcast.
This one, it's probably the only one that I listen to. To be
Oh.
honest.
Favorite plugin.
Octane, I guess.
Okay. Favorite
Very
website.
generic.
Yeah. Favorite website or Chrome extension.
Reddit enhancement suite,
Of course.
which
Because
is,
we didn't mention it,
we
but
didn't
you
even
are the
mention that at
moderator.
all, which is kind of funny.
Yeah, you're the moderator on the C4D subreddit. So, okay, the hard one, of course.
Okay, I'm ready.
Life hack.
Life hack.
Mhm.
So this one is gonna be kind of gross, but I do it all the time.
All right.
If you put a layer of toilet paper down in the bowl before you take a dump, you don't get splashback.
Oh, that's pretty
Nice.
good. That's pretty good. That's good to know if you're like in a public bathroom, especially.
Yep.
Not that the water's that much better.
When you're like me and you take big dumps, that's a legit consume.
Nice.
All right. Well, that wraps it up. I guess we're gonna get out of here. So, David. Oh, David, you've got something new coming out fairly soon, right?
Yeah, it's gonna be done hopefully by November 14th, which is like a week before my wedding, so that's terrifying.
Okay.
And it's this project that I've been it should have taken 2 months, but I was really burned out from that Ice Cave music video, and I took some time off, and also I had like kind of blank slate syndrome because it was all this green screen stuff that they gave me that was shot in this old theater in Richmond, Virginia, with this loose concept that it would be like vaudevillian themed, but and the whole audience is wearing like VR goggles, but the imagery behind the singer could have literally been anything. So like I had, it was just overwhelming at first because they didn't have a concept really. So I kind of had to make all of it up. And eventually we agreed on having these like 2.5D cutouts. And I did some tests with like splines holding weight in C4D with like spline dynamic tags, as well as springs, and having like these clouds like swinging back and forth, kind of like something Sage did a really long time ago for the subreddit. And then after the animation tests, I started to think about bigger scenes, and that's when but I was still kind of like overwhelmed. And at some point Chelsea was like, well, I know Illustrator really well, how about I help you out and take some pressure off and start designing like the Illustrator artwork, which was huge, and like just allowed me to focus on like the lighting and the texturing and animation, and of course like the keying and tracking, but that's like not that big a deal. Right. So her composition skills have totally like made this a really cool collaboration. Yeah, and so it's been fun, and it's got a kind of a stop motion vibe, which is, you know, different from my usual stuff. And it's also back to like live action integration, which at first like annoyed the hell out of me because I've become kind of a prima donna about, you know, doing anything like unless it's full CG work. I get like super annoyed. But
it works so well, man. It works so well.
Thanks, dude.
Yeah, yeah, it looks great.
I want to see it.
I'll send you a link. But it's been cool because, you know, at first you kind of like feel like it's all practical when the curtain first goes up, and I have like these, you know, clouds and stars and moon on like ropes and stuff just kind of swinging there, so it could be like, feels like it could be real, and then things start to take off and the props and stage elements start doing physically impossible things, and it gets more and more CG-ish, but it still the whole time has that practical feel because all of these things are wooden cutouts, you know, with like wood textures and stuff. And my buddy David Sawchak described it as very like very Leica, which definitely made me happy.
Oh, that's such a good.
It's a good
it's
compliment.
So good.
Yeah,
that's a massive compliment.
Yeah, huge compliment. So that made me like feel a lot more positive about the project. It's weird that I haven't been able. It took me a long time to get into it and like embrace the differentness from my usual style, but at this point I have, so that's good.
Yeah. Awesome.
Yeah.
All right, if people want to find both of you online, where can they find you?
David, go first.
Mine is David mine is just ariavisuals.com, so it's ARIEVVISUALS.com. If you want to send me an email, it's david@ariavisuals.com.
You can find me generally in Slack, the Brograph Slack if you're in there. I'm always in there. Reddit, Sage of Shadow is my username. I have a website, thesagery.com. You can email me, sage@thesagery.com. Twitter, same, thesagery. Mostly because the Sage handle is taken by everyone. So I had to invent something new.
All right, well, we're going to get out of here. You can rate us on iTunes, leave a review. You can also subscribe to us on your podcatcher of choice. Helps get our ratings up. Subscribe to our newsletter. Say you've been there, done that, got the t-shirt with the No Brograph tee. Gate D. Simone limited edition shirt, which we still haven't taken down. It's still there. The Feel the Bab 2020 Paul Babb shirt. All the profits from that go to Doctors Without Borders. And the Render Things shirt and hoodie. And you can follow us everywhere. EJ says, bark, 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 bark. And you can find us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and of course YouTube and Brograph.com. We're going to get out of here. We appreciate y'all being on a Tuesday afternoon for a really long show.
Yeah.
Well, once David is on, it's going to be super long.
Yeah, I had like way more stuff to talk about, but I just like limited it because it was already
You'll
such
just come back next week.
Yeah, I'll come back.
We'll save it for the future show.
I wanted to talk about the Andrew Kramer, my Andrew Kramer experience.
Yes. Oh, that'd be good.
We'll do that next time.
Okay. Well, when we do the future episode, we're only going to do like 30 minutes.
My artistic Joshua Tree retreat.
Oh yeah,
which has
that's right.
Somewhat changed my like what I want for myself as an artist.
Yeah.
You know. Just as far as like being more artsy.
There's way too much peyote out there.
Yeah, exactly.
So when we do the future episode, I think we're only going to do like 30 minutes of future stupidness, and then we're going to have an actual episode. So we'll do that, and we'll do that soon.
Nice.
So
cool. Sounds great. I'm down.
All right. Well, we're going to get out of here. Till next week. I'm Dave.
I'm David.
I'm Sage, but I'm not going to be here next week.
It's okay.
Have a good one.
Later, bros.
Stand by.